Hi, Hi, Katie. How are you? Doing great, thanks. What's that? Absolutely. Whenever you're ready. That works. I thought you'd like that.
I like that.
D is their coach.
2D.
2D. How you pronounce his name?
Paradin.
Paradin.
He's an intense dude.
And good evening, football fans. Welcome to Week 8 of Linton Minor Football on QD 93.3, produced by Media 5 Sports. Alongside Dan Phillips, I'm Darren Clayton. Tonight we're coming to you from Eastern High School, where the Linton Miners are visiting the Eastern-Greene Thunderbirds. These two teams come into tonight's contest with identical 6-1 records, and Dan, Eastern has assured themselves of having the first winning season in school history, and I'm sure they would like to have one more first tonight by beating the Linton Miners, a team they've not beaten in the time
Never have, and typically it's a first week game, and I really think that this is what they were looking for. They've had a nice start to the season. They've won some tight games, a big game over North Knox that they won earlier in the year by 2, that they had to come back late, and I think last week with Mount Vernon, even though that score was 39-20, they still were within 7 in the fourth quarter. So I think going down there and facing a much bigger squad, they're pretty fired up. I mean, losing that game last week might have even fired them up a little bit more. They are at home. They have absolutely nothing to lose, everything to gain tonight. So we best not relax and take these guys lightly.
Absolutely. Let's talk a little bit about the Minor Ball Club. Still unbeaten on the field after last week's 55-7 win at North Knox. Still a few things they need to get cleaned up. Still a few too many balls on the ground last week, and some things that I'm sure Coach Oliver worked on this week in practice trying to get better at. But overall, the Miners are playing very well on both sides of the football.
Yeah, the defense continues to just be super sharp. They've just, that's the one thing that's been sharp. We've not given up any big plays. And North Knox, I mean, my gosh, we held them to a mere 58 yards rushing the ball. They only had 10 yards passing, 68 on an offense that was putting up humongous numbers. But like you say, the first play from scrimmage last week. I looked at it. It looked like it was kind of a pitch out that maybe Mitch wasn't looking for. I'm not sure. But, gosh, they had the ball right there at the 15-yard line. The defense made the stand. Still had some penalties. But I think what we want to see tonight, Darren, is we want to see the Miner offense come down. I personally am not going to take away an 84-yard touchdown run, but I'd love nothing more than to see a 6, 7, 9, a 5-yard pass, drive down that field, eat some clock, dominate, and do that all night. I'll feel real good about our team there.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's something that you're going to have to do as you get into the playoff time down the road, which is just, I mean, literally just around the corner. I believe the draw is this weekend.
Sunday, yeah.
So Sunday for the draw for the sectional and the rest of the way through for the road to Lucas Oil Stadium there at the Friday after Thanksgiving. So that draw coming up here this week. And, you know, as you progress through that tournament, you're going to have those sustained drives. It can't all be off of the big plays.
And the other thing that we talked about a couple times, and I've heard other people talk about, is do we get too reliant on the big play? Do we just expect that, you know, we're going to score eventually on some gigantic play? And we scored every way you could last week. And I mean, that's great that you get that. But in a tight game, a North Vermilion game, a West Washington, any of these type of foes we may see, you may not get those long breakaway plays. And if you make mistakes compound each other, we just got to have a game where we just don't have it. And Coach Ollie, of course, all the coaches feel that same way. We're in week 8 now. Your offense should be smooth sailing. Your defense is doing well. Eastern is going to be really fired up tonight, so we just really need to come down and do what Miner fans expect us to do: dominate, come down the field, score without making any mistakes.
Let's talk a little bit about this Eastern football team. They provide another high-scoring offense for the Miner defense to contend with tonight. They come in averaging 41.7 points per game, and they're not too bad themselves on defense. They're giving up just right around 20 points per contest. So talk about this Eastern team. What you expect tonight?
And 39 of that came last week against Mount Vernon. They shut out North Davies 41-0, beat Mitchell 39-8. They beat Springs Valley 40-24. They do average over total offense 405 yards per game, and it's pretty well dispersed. 263 rushing, 142 passing. Jeffrey Graham has over 1,100 yards rushing. He's got over 900 yards passing. It's been a while since we've had a quarterback who can get out of that pocket and be contained. So that's what we're looking at. Brent Price is a senior running back who I just found out is not going to play tonight. That's a huge blow to Eastern-Greene. This kid's 445 yards rushing. Instead, they're going to have Isaac Hamilton, just a junior, coming out there. He just has 122 yards. How much that's going to play, I don't know. They've got 4 receivers. Caleb Hamilton is a sophomore, and he's been their big play guy, 482 yards, 5 touchdowns. Only got about 5 singers on this squad. 4 of them play both ways. So it's a young squad. But the Graham kid's going to get out there and make some plays. But Jacob Earl didn't. We'll see what happens with the Miner D.
Yeah, I've watched Graham play basketball for the last couple of years doing the basketball games. Very athletic kid and very good on the hardwood as well. And, you know, looking forward to seeing what he's able to get done tonight for Eastern-Greene. I see a few other names from their basketball program, but I also look out there and see a lot of good-sized kids on that offensive line.
Well, right off the bat, you see Jacob Williams, the center, is 6', 315 pounds. I got a feeling we may see one of our smaller, quicker guys down there as well. A couple 200, well, all of them over 200 pounds, 225, 215, 210, 200 is across their front line. And on defense, they've got a kid at defensive tackle, Josh Vincent, just a sophomore, at 260. But that's nothing new in Miner land. We are always facing teams that usually are bigger. The big thing for us has been speed and technique, and that's what's got us through a lot of these games.
Well, Dan, you had a chance to talk with both coaches, so we'll go ahead and take a 60-second break, come back with Dan's interview with Coach Joey Paradin of Eastern-Greene. You're listening to Linton Miner Football on QD 93.3 and WQTYradio.com, produced by Media 5 Sports.
Coach Joey Perridan of the Eastern-Greene Thunderbirds coach, are off to a great start. How does it feel to maybe have the program turning around in the right direction?
Yeah, I mean we've definitely been lucky enough to get off to the start that we have, but we had some important games early on, that this program's not had in a long time, and so it was nice to get those under our belts. Obviously our schedule's picked up here at the end of the year, and we're up for that challenge. We played a tough team in Mount Vernon, bigger school. Obviously Linton tonight is a very admirable, very strong opponent, and then we play Tecumseh next week. So we knew we had the opportunity to get off to a good start, and we just want to look to finish strong. And we're just worried about going 1-0 each week, and so we're looking to the Linton Miners this week, and hopefully we can show that we deserve to be on the field with them and play a good, tough, hard-fought game tonight.
Well, that Mount Vernon game, really, it looked like just a couple of big runs by Mount Vernon early on, kind of put your kids down. Eastern in the past would probably kind of be done at that point. Looked to me like they came back and really pulled within 7 towards the end. What kind of leadership are we looking? You only have 4 or 5 seniors tops. I know the quarterback Graham is one of your leaders, but I see Dodds and Hill and Wyatt Long and Williams. Tell me a little bit about those guys.
Well, those we've looked through our seniors all summer long, and last year, I didn't get much summer time through the summer with the kids, and so we've had a whole off season together. And these we've had these 5 seniors. They've been obviously a key part to our program and our success. They've been in the program every one of them been in the program for a long time, and both of them most of them play both ways. So you can't when you got kids that are on the field all game long. So those are obviously some big leaders just being seniors, but then we got some other kids, Isaac Hamilton that's stepped in and played well for us last year and is playing really well this year. Jeff Graham, obviously, he being the quarterback, he kind of looked to him as a leader of the offense. So we've got some kids that have stepped up, but more than anything, our team just kind of really bonded this year, gotten to know each other, the coaching staff, and what's going to be expected of them. And so you can't put a price tag on just being able to be with the kids. Again, we kind of had the short stall last year. This year, we had a whole off season together, a whole preseason together, and so now we were in a much better starting point this year than we were last year.
Well, you mentioned the Price. Brent Price is obviously a kid who can run the ball well. Teams would be best served not to just focus on Graham. Obviously, he's your number one threat, but Price can run the ball well. And Gavin Hill out of the tight end spot, he's made a catch in every game this season. And you mentioned Hamilton.
Yeah. We were fortunate to get the Caleb Hamilton kid out. He's definitely a weapon for us. We can use him running the football and catching the football. Gavin Hill is obviously a big target for us. Brent Price nicked up tonight, probably not going to be able to go for us. So Isaac Hamilton's another kid that plays on the defensive side of the ball for us, but he's also a kid that we've been getting more and more reps as the season went along. So we definitely have some kids that we feel can take some of the pressure off of Jeff, and we're definitely going to need all of them tonight to be able to be a balanced offense.
Well, Coach, it's great to see Eastern-Greene off to a good start. Hopefully, of course, I can't wish you well tonight. We hope nobody gets hurt in this game, but we do wish you well in Section 47 and on down the road. Appreciate you taking the time tonight.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
That's Coach Joe Perridan with the Eastern-Greene Thunderbirds. We'll take a 2-minute timeout. You're listening to Linton Minor Football on WQTY 93.3 FM, a production of Media 5 Sports.
delicious frozen yogurt in Linton is the perfect destination for a cool, good-for-you treat. Come try some of our amazing flavors. Then top off the flavor of your choice with over 40 different toppings to choose from. New flavors added weekly. Stop by downtown Linton today and see why it's yo delicious.
Three, two. Friday Night Football, Coach. Here we are at Eastern High School, week 8 of the football season. How do you feel your Miners are at after that win over North last week?
I think we're in a good spot. We're not peaking. We're not where we need to be, but we're in a good spot. We're playing fairly well. Some little mistakes, but like I said before, they're all correctable mistakes. And but I feel pretty pleased where we're at right now.
Defensively, did a stellar job once again. Miner defense loves to play against teams that have big running backs. Tonight, you face your quarterback who's got 1,000 yards rushing and 900-plus yards passing. It's been a while since we've seen a quarterback that can do both of these. How do your defense approach tonight?
Well, you look there. I mean, he's a dual-threat quarterback, something similar like Tyler. So it's going to give us fits there. I mean, he's got a lot of speed. He's a great athlete. But I mean, our defense has to really step up. We got to keep pressure on him, try to keep him in the pocket, don't let him get to the outside, and get him frustrated on some of his passes.
I saw on one of your other reports earlier this week that you kind of liken their defensive formations to North Vermilion and West Washington, something you'd like to see. What kind of things you hoping to exploit tonight?
Well, I mean, just kind of use our speed a lot tonight. I mean, they're going to create space, and that's fine, but we'll try to bring some different blitzes here and different stunts, trying to confuse the QB and confuse their line, maybe show them something they haven't seen yet.
Obviously, Graham is probably the one you're going to be looking at, but they've got a good running back in Brent Price, and they got a receiver in Hamilton, so they're going to have some other weapons. You've tried to keep your team fairly well focused on everybody else as well?
Yeah, absolutely. We're just trying to focus on what we got to do and just keep getting better every day.
All right, Coach, I'll let you go join your team. Right. Appreciate it. Hope to see you after the game.
Thank you.
That's Coach Brian Oliver. We'll take a 2-minute timeout. You're listening to Linton Minor Football, WQTY 93.3 FM, a production of already forgot, Media 5 Productions. That's it.
Eastern-Greene High School. Darren Clayton alongside Dan Phillips, and tonight's starting lineups are brought to you by Midwest Natural Gas. Got gas? If not, you should. Natural gas has never been more plentiful than it is right now. When you're ready to be comfortable, give Midwest Natural Gas a call at 812-384-4150.
Well, we've talked a lot about the players, so I'll just name them off. Quarterback tonight, Jeffrey Graham. He's a junior, 5'9", 145. The running back looks like it's going to be Isaac Hamilton, a junior, 5'10", 160. Will Cole, Caleb Hamilton, Braden Deckard are the three XYZ receivers, both juniors and a sophomore involved in there. Gavin Hill, the tight end. Up front, Eli Britton, Tyler Dodds, Jacob Williams, Wyatt Scott, and Wyatt Long. Three of those guys are going to be seniors. Defensively, a lot of the same guys. Tyler Dodds is a senior linebacker. Treston Russell is a junior linebacker. Deckard and Isaac Hamilton, the outside backers. Hill and looks like Caleb Hamilton, the two defensive ends up front. Josh Vincent, a sophomore, 6', 260, and Wyatt Long, a junior, 5'11", 215. The backfield defensive is Jackson Rogers and Will Cole are the cornerbacks, a junior and a sophomore, and Jeffrey Graham is the senior strong safety. Real quick looking at the Miners with 800 and I got the wrong stats altogether on that one, but fortunately, I think I have the backup plan, which I do. That is 811 yards by Tyler Muir. He's a junior, 5'8", 175. Fullback Garrett Mason's 458 yards. Mitch Eberhardt, Pierce Jackson, the twin senior wingback, 606 yards, 428 yards as well. Tight end Zach Figley didn't play last week. Should be suited up tonight. Jacob Clothier is the wide receiver, 6'1", 165. Up front, Ian Fonseca, Dylan Morris, Briar Pope, Caden Walker, and Owen Sparks on the line. Defensively, Avery Gentry, not sure that he's going to suit up tonight. He had a groin injury at the end of the game last week. If he doesn't go, I'm sure Fonseca will go. Pierce Jackson, the other linebacker, Chad Trent, Kendall Williams. Tonight, their jobs are going to be pretty intense from outside linebacker. Mason at defensive end as well as Zach Figley. T. Pig at defensive tackle with Dylan Morris, Eberhardt, Passon, and Muir, the three defensive backs. And I got to mention the Bloomington write-up on Pierce Jackson. I don't know if you got to see that in the paper.
No,
got a copy of beautiful work about him and his dad. You know, his dad, Brian, passed away a couple of years ago. Just, boy, if you get anywhere near a paper that you can pick it up. Really inspirational writing about Pierce and how he envisions his dad smiling every time he makes a hit and makes a tackle.
Nice.
And for those who don't know the story, you know, Pierce broke his collarbone as a sophomore, and his freshman year also had a collarbone, and his dad had leukemia, and really found out within 8 months he was gone. He got to see one game that Pierce played as a sophomore. So that was really an inspirational story, and Pierce has been just been all over the field. So
really
he's playing as if he's doing it for his dad.
Well, that's good to see out of a senior. And you know, we both knew Brian, and you know, just like you said, I look forward to reading that story. I'm glad you shared that. And hopefully
I got
some
it here.
of
I
the
can give it to you.
Can pick up on that as well. I know we're getting close to the
I
national
can't tell what's
anthem
happening.
Here, but anyway, take a look at Coach Joey Paradin of Eastern. He's in his second season here, has a record of 11 wins and 6 losses. Before coming to Eastern, Coach Paradin spent 2 years at Wood Memorial. His overall record in his fourth season is 13 wins and 24 losses. So he's done a nice job here at Eastern, 11 and 6. I mean, that's.
And he just got here, you know, at the very end. It was a late hire last year. He referred to that in his interview. Rarely had a chance to really meet the players. And Wood Memorial was a tough situation for him. He comes from good stock. He comes from Gibson Southern. I don't know how tall he is, but he's taller than I was, and I can only imagine that guy in pads. But they got a great opportunity tonight, Darren. I mean, when you're an underdog, even at 6-1, and you've coached in games where you come into it, what do you tell your kids coming into it?
Well, it's kind of like you said earlier. You don't have anything to lose. This is a game where the pressure really is on the Miners tonight, and I think you tell your kids, you know, come out here, do what we've been doing, and let's, you know, see how good we are, and it's a good test for them and a chance for them to see what they're made of as well as they get ready to head into the postseason. And
North Knox had every opportunity in the planet last week. I mean, right off the bat, we fumbled the ball at the 15, and I'm thinking, oh, my gosh, if they punch that ball in and the snowball keeps rolling.
You know, it's a different animal, but momentum in all sports is a real thing.
Exactly.
And I listened to Brian Billick on the radio yesterday talking about momentum, you know, in the NFL, and I know in volleyball and other sports, basketball, there's definitely momentum, and I think it's true. You know, we got a little baseball game on the side here while we're doing it tonight, and momentum's there too. You know, I mean, guys feed off of each other. If a guy gets a hit, the next guy feels like he can get a hit. So, you know, if you come out here tonight and let Eastern get the momentum, I mean, they're very capable of winning the football game.
They're at home, and you look at an IU-Ohio State game Saturday that IU really right down. Who would have thought? Their number one running back, the number one quarterback, their best defender, not on the field, and yet they are in position to at least tie this game. And I don't think anybody really remotely had given them a chance.
Exactly.
So you can never, ever, ever say never. And I know true Linton fans are on me like flies on sardines that, oh, no, this is going to be another rout. That's the mentality that scares me because we have played them since 2003.
Right.
2 of those in a postseason game and just outscored them 51.5 to 8.5 in 14 wins. So it's hard to tell 15, 16, 17-year-old kids that, hey, you need to take them serious, especially when they did what they've done the last 3 weeks.
I do think that it probably pays to Linton's advantage that, they wanted to move this game to tonight because they thought that playing us at the first of the season was a disadvantage to them. And so we'll see how that plays out. And, our kids are reading what's going on with this team as well. And I think our kids, I think, will really be out tonight to prove that, hey.
You're exactly right. I felt that way with North Knox because they had put up so many yards coming in. I mean, even if their record wasn't as good, you want to come in and shut that down.
Yes.
Now, Eastern, of course, this is their best year. And there's people talking that Jeffrey Graham is the best quarterback in the area, and he may be, but that ought to fire up a defense to come out here and make something happen. And I'm sure Tyler on the other side of the ball wants to prove something tonight.
Absolutely. We mentioned Coach Perriton and his record. Coach Oliver in his 3rd season with the Miners has a record of 30 wins and 4 losses. The Miners won this matchup last year 63-22, and as we've mentioned several times, the Miners 14-0 in this series dating back to 2003 when a former Miner helped kick off this program. Brent Anderson was the first coach of this program and helped get it off the ground.
Coach Lorig was over here before it became varsity and put in his. It's been a long road for the T-Birds. It really has, and they certainly this year. I think that win over North Knox served notice when they came back and won that game. Graham has had 6 of his 4 games have had over 100 yards rushing. And the only other one that he didn't have 100, he had 93. So he's been pretty consistent. And Hamilton's caught 184 yards in one game against North Knox. Graham threw for 271 against North Knox. But Mount Vernon had 2 guys over 100 yards last week, 149 and 129. Another kid at 76. So they really were able to expose that inside. And I got a feel for him without having Price. It looks like the national anthem is coming around the corner.
Yeah, they got a sportsmanship code that I know they read. I wasn't trying to get you off there, but they do read that, and that's one thing I think I see Brent Price coming across there. Looks like he's limping on his injury to his left foot, maybe. And
that's a big loss for them tonight because he's the second threat from that backfield.
Well, I don't have this. I had to separate the program, but he's a good-sized kid to throw out there.
He's limping pretty profusely too.
It is time for the national anthem, so we'll take a 60-second break. You're listening to Linton Minor Football on QD 93.3, produced by Media 5 Sports. And that's the national anthem being performed by the Eastern-Greene band tonight. Nice rendition of that as we get ready for football here. The officials come over to the sidelines. They're going to grab the captains, head out to midfield here for the coin toss. Eastern will be in their home red jerseys with white numbers, white helmets, got black pants, and looks like their captains tonight will be number 58, Wyatt Long. Number 50 is Tyler Dodds. Number 79, Jacob Williams, and Jeffrey Graham.
You're not going to miss number 79.
No, definitely not. And Jeffrey Graham is the other captain. The Miners are still down on the end of the field there, huddled up as a group.
Well, we know Dylan Morris and Avery Gentry are two of the team captains. I should have that memorized, but I never do. And they come running down the sideline over there.
Get a nice round of applause from the Miner faithful over on the far side. We're on the home side tonight. And the captains get ready to come out. I think they've actually already done this.
I think they have. It's interesting that they do this well before the game, then they do it for show and afterwards.
Most of the fans probably, if you lined them up and went, nobody probably know the difference.
Yeah.
As you mentioned, Dylan Morris, Pierce Jackson.
Yeah, that's the other guy, obviously.
Braxton Lannon.
Yeah. Can't say enough about Braxton Lannon. And, boy,
I think the referee just told Braxton he couldn't come out. So
that's odd.
He started to come out with the rest of them, and it looked like he looked at the referee, and the referee told him no. So,
well, it's not a number thing because they got 4 and we got 3, but maybe you have to be in a uniform.
Yeah, he's got
quite sure.
Just his jersey on, and like you were getting ready to say, it's unfortunate that Braxton unable to participate, but it's good that he stuck around and been a part of the team.
Anybody else would have given up on just being a part of it. And he's really active on the sideline. I guess weightlifting-wise, he's just a monster in there. You can imagine what would it be like. He started as a sophomore, I think, because we had injuries that year. And
Miners won the toss. They'll receive. Players shake hands at midfield, and we'll get ready for the kickoff. The kickoff for tonight's game is sponsored by Bobe Switch City. Kick off your evening with the best pizza, sandwiches, and sides from Bobe's. You're just a phone call away, so call right now, 659-BOBE. That's 659-2623, and Amy will have it ready when you get there. Bobe Switch City open at 4 p.m. every Wednesday through Sunday, so plenty of time to call Amy, get that pizza order in, and listen to Linton Miner football.
Oh, you sure would not think that Eastern would even remotely think about sending us anywhere near any of the backline receivers. The problem with that is that Corbin, 27.
Our up guys, Kendall Williams and Cody Corbin,
have both had big returns as well. So a lot of skilled players for the Miners, but I'm trying to repeat my performance of last week where I said you surely wouldn't kick to Eberhardt. They did, and he went 83 yards for a touchdown.
Looks like number 80 teeing it up there for the Thunderbirds. That's Andy Drummond, a freshman.
He's their kicker.
It is Eberhardt and Muir back deep for the Miners. And short there for the Miners tonight. A little bit of a change.
Yeah.
Luke Miller, one of the short backs, along with Kendall Williams. I don't see Cody Corbin out there, so that's interesting. We'll have to keep an eye on that.
Well, he played Monday and ran all over North Davis.
There's the kick. It's an onside kick, and
they got it.
There's a chance for either team to have it.
Boy, that was a surprise.
Battling for it just past the 50-yard line.
Gosh, who got that?
And the Miners have the football,
61, I believe. Trevor Hill, that's the second time this year that he's made a recovery on an onside kick, and that took everybody within the tri-state by surprise.
It really looked like Eastern had a good chance of recovering the
football. I thought they did
there. Fortunately for the Miners, they're able to come up with it.
The 47-yard line.
So 1st and 10 at their own 47. Clothier comes to the near side. Miners in their usual set. Eberhardt in motion. Fake the handoff to him. Muir takes it up the middle. And he's still loose. He breaks the tackle, and he's gone. First play of the game, 53 yards. Tyler Muir to the 5 and into the end zone.
And it looks like he stopped at the line. I think everybody goes to sleep, and he comes out like a bee out of a hive, right up the gut. Boy, a terrible start for Eastern-Greene's defense.
Man, I thought he was stopped. I was trying to figure out. I actually thought that was him moving back there. And the next thing I know, he just pops right out of the middle of the pile, and away he goes. And once he gets through there, he's just going to score.
Well, they rolled the dice, Darren. They went for the onside kick. Really looked like they had a shot at it. Then the first play from scrimmage, 53 yards for the Miners. And here's Luke Wilson.
Extra point, snaps just a little low maybe, kicks on the way, and it's good again. Luke Wilson knocks another one through. So fans have hardly had a chance to get seated. 11:47 left in the first quarter. And on the Highcom Security Services scoreboard, the Miners are on top 7-0. We'll take a 30-second break. You're listening to Linton Miner Football on QD 93.3, produced by Media 5 Sports.
Yo! Delicious frozen yogurt in Linton is the perfect destination for a cool, good-for-you treat. Come try some of our amazing flavors. Then top off the flavor of your choice with over 40 different toppings to choose from. New flavors added weekly. Stop by downtown Linton today and see why it's yo delicious.
Eastern High School, tonight's game brought to you in part by the Greene County Daily World, wishing all area sports teams good luck. Watch your Tuesday paper for the weekly Athlete of the Week announcement. Call Lisa and ask about their current subscription specials.
Well, if you decided to take a bathroom break, Darren, after that onside kick because it was too exciting for you, you'd probably come back going, what happened?
Yep, one play, 13-second drive.
Yeah.
Wilson gets ready to kick off. Ball teed up at the 40-yard line.
And we normally see Corbin on this kickoff team, too, and I'm not seeing him out there, so maybe he has an injury.
There's the kick. A little bit short, going to be fielded at about the 27-yard line, headed to the left sideline, and going to be brought down by the Miners. And on the return, that was Mitch Crouch, number 7. So Crouch gets it out to the 36-yard line, and Cody's brother graduated from the military academy. Cody
yes.
may have gone
Could be
to that. So
he had a big game in the JV contest. Every time I looked, he was scoring a touchdown.
So the Thunderbirds take over for the first time, 1st and 10 at their own 36-yard line. A receiver to the near side. Graham out of the shotgun, one back in the backfield. Wide receiver on the wing on the left side. As we wait for the snap here, play clock down to 12.
Yeah, they're taking
Runner
their time.
comes in motion. The clock's not running, though. Graham going to roll out to the right side, keeping himself, turns it up to the 40 and gets it out over the 45 near a first down. I believe they're going to give it to him, but it'll be a first down on the first play of the game.
And that looked pretty convincing coming around the side. He was turned in by Williams, but he's tracked down. Muir comes up as one of the first guys to get him, I think, passing from the cornerback position.
He got a little bit of speed there he shows on that first play. 10-yard pickup, 1st and 10 at the 46. Graham out of the shotgun again. Wide receivers to both sides. Single back in the backfield will be Isaac Hamilton. Players looking over. They're getting the signals from the coach. Hamilton moves to the left side of Graham now. And now we're going to get a whistle and
timeout.
Play clock maybe was down. So Eastern going to take a timeout. So after a 10-yard run, already a timeout here. So everything's happening pretty quickly. The Miners score on their first play from scrimmage. Eastern rattles off 10 yards on their first play, and then we have to take a timeout before the second play.
Should say Avery Gentry is out at the inside linebacker spot, so he's going tonight. I know he didn't practice Monday through Wednesday. Practice Thursday night, was pretty sore.
Yeah, it's definitely good to see him out there.
And Zach
a key
Figley,
part of that
number
Miner
5.
defense.
Figley as well. He had a kind of a knee injury. They take their time, that's for sure. They read it, look at the defense, and
one thing you can do is try to keep that Miner offense off the field. So here we go, back to play. Graham out of the shotgun. And once again, they look over to the sideline, get the play. Runner in motion. There's the snap. They fake the handoff. Graham going to keep it again, cuts it up the middle, and gets it out close to the 48-yard line. And Cody Corbin, I've been told, is indeed in Texas with the family. Brother graduating from the Air Force Academy.
Well, some things take precedence. That's a heck of an accomplishment by Christopher Corbin, and he was a great scout player for the Miners. Won that award that year. That was Big Dylan Morris that came in there and made that stop at about the 48.
Going to be 2nd and 8 at the 48. Got 2 wide receivers close on the. It's really interesting. It's almost hard to describe how they do it. They get lined up and they get set, and then they look over to the coach at the sideline to get a play. Graham going to roll out to the left side this time, looking to throw. Fires it, going to be caught by Hamilton at about the 45. He turns it upfield, gets it inside the 35-yard line.
And that's been a weapon all year for him. He's their leading receiver. He got behind Chad Trent that time. And it's worth mentioning, we just haven't seen much of a passing team's opposition in the last couple of weeks. And it may take us some time to get used to it.
Ball down into Miner territory to the 33. A nice pickup there, about 19 yards, I believe. Make it 1st and 10. 2 wide receivers this time to the near side, 1 to the far. 2 backs join Graham in the backfield. Kind of a unique set here, really. Graham awaits the snap. He takes it, going to hand it off this time straight up the gut, and the Miner defense up to the task that time. And I believe on the carry, that was Isaac Hamilton.
Yeah, he's getting the start, and Jackson and Morris greeted him with a whole host of Miners.
See where they marked the ball here. Wow, they gave him a lot more than I thought he got. They marked it at 31, pickup of a couple, make it 2nd down and 8.
Well, this would be a big answer for Eastern, coming right down the field and answering the Miner score. At the minimum, at least they've moved the ball and showed they can move the ball.
Players looking over the sideline. The coach makes signals. The Miners use cards and numbers to call their plays. Eastern using hand signals from the coach as Graham awaits it out of the shotgun. Takes the snap, fakes the handoff, rolls out to the right side, looking to throw. Now he's going to tuck it up, heads back to the left side of the field, has some running room down inside the 25-yard line. and I believe he has another first down.
Right there's what we haven't seen in a couple of weeks. Eberhardt comes in. He got pressure from Mason on the backside, but he was able to go inside. Jackson was coming from the other side, and unfortunately, he was able to use his feet and make something happen. And I think we're getting a little bit surprised by this, down at the 22 with 9:06.
So Eastern trying to answer that Miner score, 7-0 in favor of the Miners. Graham again, out of the shotgun. Takes the snap and gives the handoff down to the 21-yard line, and I believe that is Hamilton again. Now we got two Hamiltons. That is Isaac.
Yeah.
He's the junior. Caleb is a sophomore.
Well, that was Figley and Jackson that made that play look like a little confusion in the backfield. It actually just gets a yard out of it, almost to the red zone.
So down to the 21-yard line, 2nd down and 9 here. One wide receiver to the near side, two to the far. Two backs continue to be in the backfield, one to the right of Graham, another one behind him. Takes the snap, fires it out to the flat on the left side, and he's going to break a tackle, going to pick up another first down. See who the receiver was.
I think it was
on
Hamilton, 35.
So it is indeed Caleb Hamilton that time on the catch and carry, and he ends up picking up another first down. The ball down to the 12-yard line, I believe.
Just a quick pass right out to the far side. He's a pretty good-sized kid. 35 is.
Yeah, we got everything flipped around here on the programs as far as size goes.
Well, he's down to the 11-yard line. A great drive by Eastern with 8:16 to go in the opening quarter. 7-zip Miners, but Eastern is answering.
Two wide receivers out both sides. Graham in the backfield. Three wide receivers to the left. Graham by himself in the backfield. Runner in motion. And they pitch it to him on the roll out to the left side. And the Miners out there to make the stop. He might have got inside the 10-yard line.
That was Cole, number 26, who came around. Avery Gentry got out there. That's really what you call a pass.
It really was. Yeah, he tossed it out in front there, just a couple of yards out in front of himself. And my sentiment is if he'd have dropped it, they would have called it incomplete.
Yeah.
So.
But he gets to the 8-yard line as we are at 7:46, Darren. And, well, this is a big defensive stand the Miners could do here.
2nd down and 7 from the 8.
Watch that tight end, 43, Gavin Hill.
Graham brings it to the right side, passes it into the end zone, and it's caught. Touchdown Eastern.
Brady, that's Deckard, number 5.
So Braden Deckard picks up the touchdown on the 8-yard pass.
7:32.
And Eastern-Greene with a chance to tie this up. They march it right down the field.
They put it right down our throats down the field. We do a good job on the inside, but we're being exposed on the outside in the passing game. Again, something that we haven't seen a whole lot of.
Got our left-footed kicker. Good snap, good hole, kick in the air, and this ball game's tied at 7 apiece. That was added by Andy Drummond, the freshman. So with 7:32 left in the first quarter on the Highcom Security Services scoreboard, it's Linton 7, Eastern 7. We'll be back in 30 seconds. This is a Media 5 Sports Production. Potential for your business online.
9 plays, 64 yards, 4 minutes, 15 seconds, right down the field.
Nice answer by Eastern-Greene as Drummond gets set to kick off for the second time. 7 apiece. And this time a kick going to be short over to the right side of the field, taken at the 20 off of Eberhardt's face mask. He picks it up, now heads up the sideline. Still on his feet, out to the 40. And finally out of bounds over on the Miners sideline. See where they end up marking that. I think he got out over the 40-yard line.
Yeah, he looks like he's out about the 43, perhaps.
Oh, wow, they're going to take it way back.
Wow.
So I didn't hear the whistle blow, and they take it all the way back to the 33. So he stepped out a lot sooner than I thought.
Yeah, the play continued for quite a while. Now the Miner offense has to come out, and all the enthusiasm right this second has to be on Eastern. Their crowd fully loving that. We scored on one play the last time.
Clothier to the near side. Runner in motion. They fake the handoff again. Going to look to throw. They
Oh,
fired
he's
up to
wide
Jackson
open.
down the middle
Oh,
of the
my
field and
gosh.
just out of his reach. Just out of reach.
Wide open down the middle of the field was Pierce Jackson, and maybe he was too wide open for Tyler to see. But, boy, you'll mark that one down because that one was a wide open touchdown waiting to happen. That would have been something. 2 plays, 2 touchdowns.
Boy, they laid it out there just a little bit out of Pierce's reach, wide open over the middle.
Well, they were looking to expose their outside linebackers. They said they didn't have the speed to keep up with us.
Mitch again in motion. He's going to take the handoff this time. Coming to the left
Oh, look at
side.
that.
Gets a nice block on the outside. Rumbles out over the 45 to the 46. A first down for the Miners. Pickup of a 13 for Eberhardt.
Touchdown saving tackle by Russell Treston.
Nice.
It might be Treston Russell. That's who it is.
Nice blocking out there by
Yeah.
Jacob Clothier on the outside.
He out to the 46-yard line, a gain of 13 as we are at just about the 7-minute mark, all tied up. I don't think anybody would have thought 7-7.
Muir out of the shotgun. 2 wide receivers to the far side this time. Mason in the backfield with Muir. They're going to fake. No, they're going to give it to him. Mason takes it out
Big
towards the
block.
right side. He's going to get it out into Eastern territory, see where they spot it.
Well, that's just a tremendous lead block by Dylan Morris. I've been trying to keep track of his pancake blocks. He's in the 40s, but he leveled with the Eastern player. Graham makes the tackle, and it looks like it's across, what would you call that, the 46, 47?
46, 47-yard line area, so a pickup of about 8 for Garrett Mason on his first carry of the night. 2 wide receivers to the near side this time. Tyler takes the snap, spins out, runs, cuts it back up the middle. Gets another Miner first down here at about the 42-yard line.
And he likely was heading to pay dirt, but number 5 was able to stick that out. That's Braden Deckard who caught the touchdown pass.
Coming off that touchdown.
Just got enough of Tyler to slow him down.
Referee winds the clock. Miners look over to the sideline. Got three signs being held up by the coaching staff tonight instead of the normal 2, so a little change. 2 wide receivers to the near side. Jackson stays on the wing on the left. Muir looking to throw. Fires it over the middle.
Nice catch. Oh, he dropped it.
It looked like he was going to make a really nice catch there, intended for Jackson.
Yeah, and that was kind of broken up by number 5, Deckard again.
So the Miners 2nd and 10 now after the incompletion.
Little high on the pass. Looked like he was open, and really the guy streaking down the middle looked like he was open as well. That might have been Clothier.
Clothier goes to the far side this time. Jackson on the left wing, Eberhardt on the right. Mason with Muir in the backfield. In motion is Jackson. They're going to pitch it to him on the right side, and Eastern has him in the backfield for a big loss. All the way back to the 49-yard line.
Gavin Hill, number 43, makes a big play, and now the Miners are set up on the 3rd down and 17 with 5:46 to go in the opening quarter.
7-7 on the Highcom Security Services scoreboard. Actually, they moved that ball up a little bit, Dan. They're actually going to spot it between the 47 and 48, so they're only going to give him about a 5-yard loss, so 3rd down and 15 for the Miners instead. There's the snap. They give it to Jackson, going to the right, breaks the tackle, but runs right into a wall of Eastern players for no gain.
And I think we're going to punt the ball from that position. I would be amazed if we don't. That's a pretty good length area to go. An inspired play that time, 58, I believe, is going to be Long. Wyatt Long makes the tackle, and that one was busted up almost at the line of scrimmage. We've only punted the ball 9 times this year.
Yeah, I think it's important to punt this and flip the field position here after Eastern had the nice drive the first time around. So Kendall Williams on to punt for the Miners. Rogers back deep, I believe, for Eastern. Waiting for the snap. Williams gets a good snap. Kick is up, and fair catch going to be called for. And dropped. Ball loose on the ground down inside the 10-yard line.
Number 9 is Ed Cowboy,
and able to recover it is Jackson Rogers. So he muffs the punt, but Eastern able to come up with it, but they'll have the ball at about the 10. Let's see where they lay it down at here. So 1st and 10 at the 10 with 4:36 left here in the opening quarter, and Eastern, who took it right down the field on their first drive. Let's see what adjustments get made here.
And normally we do see the Miner defense make some adjustments, but this place is going to get crazy if they move the ball down the field again.
Graham out of the shotgun. 2 wide receivers to the near side. 2 backs. Runner in motion now. There's a snap. Graham pitches it to the left side to Hamilton. He's going to cut it up the field. And looks like he's going to get 5 or 6 yards there before the Miners are able to bring him down. Maybe actually got 7.
Yeah, he runs the ball hard. Jackson is going to be out there. Pierce Jackson along with Zach Figley. But you'll take a first down that gets that many yards.
So they take it all the way out to the 17. They get 2nd down and 3. Eastern looking over the sideline and waiting for the play. 3 wide receivers to the right. 1 back in the backfield. Graham takes the snap, rolls out to the right, looking to throw. Still looking to throw. Now fires it out ahead of himself. Caught out there by 43.
Hill.
That's Gavin Hill.
Tight end is now, he's caught a pass in every game. Immediately dropped by 22 Kendall Williams, but he got the first down, and that's all
first down. Yep.
That's all you wanted to do out of that. He looked deep for a little while, then came back.
So 1st and 10 at the 21-yard line for Eastern-Greene. Nice little short pass out there.
He's 5 for 5 passing the ball for 45 yards right now.
The thing that Graham presents is we're not able to get as much pressure on him as we have been some of the other quarterbacks we faced.
At first play, we overran him, and he was able to make a big run out of it.
Graham awaits the snap. 2 wide receivers to the far side.
Same
He fires
play.
it again out into the flat, caught out there by Hamilton. And this time the Miners stop him after a couple of yards.
Yeah, Trent's the first one. He kind of missed the tackle, but it slowed him up a little bit till a lot of guys got out there. Avery Jackson led the pack, number 31. What that kind of does, Darren, is a quick pass out in the flat. Your linebackers now have to kind of sit back a little bit. You can't just come charging up.
2nd down and 8 after a 2-yard pickup. Isaac Hamilton with Graham in the backfield. Wide receivers to both sides. And there's a snap, going to roll out right again. Graham, this is just a flat quarterback keep here. Looked like maybe a hold on the outside there. No flag, though.
Jackson and Kendall Williams did a nice job of turning him in. Like you say, it looked like he was kind of held in front, but he cuts back against the grain and gets another big gain out there. They're getting pretty good chunks of change right now. They're kind of winning this battle up front.
Very much so. 35-yard line, 1st and 10 again for Eastern. This time they hurry to the line of scrimmage. Now they're going to look over to the sideline. So this is as well as we've seen any team move the ball against the Miners in a while. I wasn't at the North Vermilion game, didn't get to see a whole lot of it, but Graham awaits the snap, takes it, going to roll again to the right side, looks downfield, fires the pass, right through the hands of a Miner. That was Kendall Williams.
Yeah.
Went right through his hands, had a chance for the interception there.
Intended for Deckard, number 5, and just about read that one perfect.
So that'll make it 2nd and 10 for the Thunderbirds. At their own 35-yard line, Hamilton comes out of the game.
That's his first incompletion. So I'm sure the Miner, Coach Jennings and them are probably pretty intense on the sideline right now. Now they got 5 wide.
2 to the near side. One of them goes in motion, and they're going to fake it. Graham going to keep it up the middle. Gets it out over the 40 to the 41-yard line. So a pickup of about 6, going to make it 3rd down and 4, and a big play here for the Miner defense.
Indeed a big play. Pierce Jackson made that tackle.
I would think at this juncture of the ball game and field position that the Miners can get a stop here. They'll get the ball back.
Yeah, I would agree.
Hamilton comes back in, and coming off the field is Rogers.
Again, look for that short pass play where he rolls out, maybe has the option of keeping it or dumping it off to a receiver. They got kind of 4 guys there bunched up.
Graham takes it, rolls out to his left, looking downfield, fires it up over the top of the linebacker, and is picked off by the Miners at the 45. Mitch Eberhardt with the interception. And, you know, maybe, I mean, you don't want to turn the football over. Obviously, you're trying to complete that, but it's not quite as good as a punt, though, for Eastern. So the Miners are going to take over. Eberhardt with the pick.
Just overthrew him. Was intended for Hamilton again, and it really looked like he was kind of open out there. Got, about 4 yards on that return.
Well, Chad Trent was kind of in between Graham and the receiver there and had to kind of get it over him, and that made him throw it just a little farther than he wanted, I think.
1:31 on the clock, and now the Miner offense with a chance to put some points on the board and get ahead.
Jackson in motion. He's going to take the handoff, going to the right side, cuts it back up, breaks a tackle up in the middle of the field, and gets a first down there. Nice run by Pierce.
He runs the ball hard. 3 Thunderbirds are out there on him. 42 Russell, I believe is his name, was one of the guys there.
Treston Russell, ball down into Eastern territory at the 41-yard line. So a nice pickup by Pierce there, 12 yards.
2 carries, 13 yards, and one of the few times the Miners so far have been outgained, although 53 yards on one play kind of helped us out.
And now Eastern jumps. They didn't break the neutral zone, though, so Miners will reset. Mason in the backfield with Muir. And they give it to him right up the gut. And he might have got inside the 40 or right at the 40-yard line, so just a yard pickup for Garrett that time. Going to make it 2nd down and 9.
Ran right into Tyler Dodds, the inside linebacker, one of the few seniors out there, right at the line of scrimmage.
Under a minute to go here in the first quarter. Deadlocked at 7 apiece. 19 on the play clock. The Miners do have to run a play here before the end of the quarter. Eberhard in motion. They give him the ball. Coming to the near side.
Missed the block.
And missed the block.
Missed
and that's going to...
Gosh.
Yeah, Clothier missed the block that time. He's out there hitting himself in the helmet. A lot of running room maybe for Mitch. If that block happens, he still gets it down to the 38, so he picks up a couple.
There wasn't anybody there. It was just all green on that side, and you kind of would hope Mitch could put a juke on 26. That was Will Cole that made that nice open field tackle.
Looks like that's going to be the last play of the first quarter. The clock winds down. So at the end of 1 on the Highcom Security Services scoreboard, it's the Linton Miners 7, the Eastern-Greene Thunderbirds 7. We'll be back in 60 seconds. This is a Media 5 sports production. Eastern High School. I'm Darren Clayton alongside Dan Phillips. The Miners have the football on the move, tied at 7 apiece here at the end of the first quarter. It's going to be 3rd down, a big play for the Miner offense here.
6-0 North Davies on top of North Knox at the end of 1.
Tyler going to keep it himself, spins out on the right side, takes it back up the middle now, 1 tackle away from a touchdown. He's brought down inside the 15 at the 14.
Cole, number 26, saves the touchdown, and just a smooth running by Tyler Muir gets down, it looks like, to the 14-yard line of Eastern-Greene. A big 3rd down play gain of 24 yards.
Miners look over to the sideline to get their play. They're going left to right now here in the second quarter with the white road jerseys.
This is unique here, 3 to the left side with Jackson Eberhard and Clothier out there.
Mason stays in the backfield. They're going to hand it off to Garrett. He cuts it up the middle, down inside the 10, plows ahead. See where they spot that down there.
He gets a head of steam going and puts that shoulder down. Jeffrey Graham's going to make that tackle from strong safety.
So the ball spotted at about the 8 maybe, so pick up a 6. Make it 2nd down and 4. 2 wide receivers to the near side. Eberhard stays on the near side wing. Mason in the backfield with Muir. There's the snap. And once again, they give it to Mason up the middle, breaks the tackle, and he's going to get it into the end zone. Touchdown, Garrett Mason.
Drags Caleb Hamilton for about the last 4 yards into the end zone. Nice power running by the Miner fullback. And the Miners answer with a 6-play, 53-yard drive, but had to make a nice 3rd down and 7 conversion to do that.
11:03 left in the second quarter as Wilson comes out to try to kick the extra point. Those are going to be very important.
Yes, sir.
Passing is the holder. And
Corbin is the typical snapper.
And kick is good. So Wilson adds the extra point. So with 11:03 left in the second quarter on the Highcom Security Services scoreboard, it's the Miners 14 and Eastern 7. We'll keep it here Here's a reminder from Highcom Security Services in Lyons. Protecting your home, your business, your family, and your property is as easy as calling Highcom. Highcom offers cutting-edge technology, affordability, and service by local people you know and trust. Call sales manager Derek McKee to find out more. That number is 800-819-8141, or you can go online to callhighcom.com.
2 big carries by Tyler Muir tonight, a 53-yard touchdown, and then that big 24-yarder on 3rd down and 7. All running plays that particular series, 6 of them right up the gut after making a defensive stand there on an interception set up by Mitch Eberhardt at about the 47. So
let's see if Eastern has an answer this time. They had an answer the first time. They were moving the ball the second time.
Yeah,
they got it from the 10 out to the 41, so they had moved it before the interception. Back deep to return. 26 is Will Cole. Also back there is
Hamilton. 35. Well, Coach Paradin's got to be pleased right now with the effort his Eastern-Greene team has put in there. He had Ward, number 2, out there on the kickoff team, the freshman for the Miners. Oh, he's a sophomore. Sorry about that.
Ben Burris, the usual face we see out there. Wilson approaches the kick. Line drive towards the right side of the field. If it stays in bounds, but it doesn't, it hops out of bounds. So is that the 35-yard line where Eastern will take over, or they can make us re-kick, right? They get their choice.
Yeah. You'd think they'd take it at the 35, and that just took an unlucky bounce that the Eastern kid didn't try to catch it.
Made no effort to go after it.
That ball would have went bit straight. It would have went pretty far back there, so they'll get it at the 35-yard line.
So 1st and 10, the Thunderbirds will take back over, trailing 14-7.
Definitely being tested. Jeffrey Graham, 5 carries, 37 yards. That's a 7.4 per carry average, something that we just have not given up all year. And he's 6 of 8 passing for 47 yards as well.
Wide receivers to both sides, 2 backs in the backfield with Graham. As he awaits the snap, runner comes in motion from the right side to the left side. And they're going to pitch it and come to the near side. That's Hamilton, and he's going to be met by a host of Miners in the backfield.
And that starts off with Chad Trent. He gets no credit for it, but it was him putting pressure on the outside that forced Hamilton inside, and he was met. Looked like first one there is Big Dylan Morris, but really about 5 or 6 Miners were there.
Loss of a yard on the play, going to make it 2nd down and 11.
And that was good pursuit by the Miner offense. I would imagine, and you being on the sidelines for all these years, you know there's a bit of chewing going on that sideline.
Looks like the Miners have got more guys in the box than what we're used to seeing.
Which is dangerous because they throw the ball.
And now we got a flag from the back judge. Be interesting, or not the back judge, I guess the guy right behind the linebackers throws the flag.
Graham is counting his players, so I'm wondering if he's thinking they didn't have enough players
2,
on
4,
the field.
6, 8, 9, 10.
Yeah, that's what they got. It's either that or is this a legal substitution? They got so many new rules.
So there's going to be 5 yards back against Eastern. That'll take the ball back to the – well, they're going to put it at about the 30-yard line, so they only backed it up 4 yards.
I didn't see somebody go out. The fact Graham was trying to count everybody makes me wonder if that's 12 on the field.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I think there was an extra player out there. He just came off, so 11 now for Eastern as they look to the sideline again for their play. Hamilton in the backfield with Graham, 2 wide receivers to the near and far sides. Graham awaiting the snap, takes it, and going to fake the handoff to Hamilton, keeps it himself, cuts it up the middle, now back out, tries to get back out to the sideline, gets it out to the 38-yard line, pickup of about 8, going to make it 3rd down and 7.
Trenton Figley going to make the tackle. He is quick. Watching him in the field glasses, he made a couple of cuts there, and he's the real deal out there. And that's what we want. That's what we want to face. I mean, that's the kind of guy you want to see out there. He gets out to the 39-yard line with 9:36 to go and a 14-7 Miner lead. 9-yard gain.
Looking to the sideline, 10 seconds left on the play clock.
There's a big 3rd down situation for the T-Birds and the Miners early in the contest.
Pretty early in the 2nd quarter here. Now Eastern going to
burn another one.
Take another time out here. Want to let you know that tonight's game is brought to you in part by Bob Swit City. They're open every Wednesday through Sunday from 4 till 8 with everyday specials. Buy any 14-inch 3-topping pizza and get a 10-inch 1-topping for just $1.99, or buy 3 large and get a 4th free at Bob Swit City. And they also offer $10 Thursdays. A 14-inch pizza with any number of toppings is just $10 every Thursday. So you can call 659-BOBE to get your pizza needs filled. So a timeout by Eastern here on a big 3rd down and 7 play.
And it is a big play. I mean, it's, if you got any kind of question or doubt, maybe they saw the Miner defense and got a play worked up for this.
9:16 left in the first half, 14-7 Miners. And you continue to look out there and see the Jacob Williams, the senior center for this Eastern club, the anchor of their offensive line. So back to action we go. 2 wide receivers to the far side, 1 to the near side. Graham has a single back with him. And even out of the timeout, they still look back over to get the play.
Yeah, I think they look over the Miner defense. A lot like what we used to do with Austin Carazia, where they try to set something up and then look on the side. Here comes pressure from Trent.
Graham looking to throw, fires it over the middle. It's a little high. Eberhardt nearly a second interception, could only get one hand on it.
Yeah, that looked like he thought Cole might be going upfield rather than across the middle. So he's got a good arm, too.
Eastern going to line up to punt. Back to do that is Gavin Hill. Back deep for the Miners is Muir.
That stops the clock at 9:14. A nice effort by the Miners there. Did you say Graham is the kicker? Or?
No, Gavin Hill.
Oh, the tight end is a little bit less of a threat than Graham. And you sure wouldn't think after viewing film that they'd kick that ball anywhere near Tyler's way.
Good snap. Punts very short. Miners going to get away from it.
Oh, look at Tyler coming over, sniffing around.
Eastern going to down it at the 45-yard line. So the Miners get good field position here on this possession as they'll take over 1st and 10 at their own 45. And they take over with 9:07 left here in this first half on the HiCom Security Services scoreboard, leading 14-7. So now it becomes a big play for the Eastern defense to come up with a stop.
They really can't give up any kind of scoring here with the Miners. And we've had the ball lucky, Darren, at the 47, the 33, and the 47, and now the 45. So our field position has been pretty favorable.
2 wide receivers to the far side. And now we're going to look to throw. Tyler over the middle. Wide open is Jackson. He catches it on the run at about the 35, and he's going to take it into the end zone.
Sweet pass. Look at the Miner coaching staff out there. They are pumped up and went back to that same play, and he put that one on the mark.
Tyler Muir also pumping his fist as he leaves the field. So the Miners on the first play from scrimmage after the change of possession, 55 yards, Muir to Jackson. And the Miners are on top 20-7 with 8:57 left.
That's 2 one-play drives for the Miners, and boy, that's a dagger right there.
Wilson on for the extra point. Passing with the hold. Snap back, good snap. Ball down, kick up, and smacks it right through there nice and solid. And the Miners, with 8:57 left in the first half, are on top now 21-7 on the HiCom Security Services scoreboard. We'll take a 30-second break. You're listening to Linton Miner Football on QD 93.3 and WQTYradio.com and also LintonMiners.com for those of you watching at home. Back in 30 seconds.
Yo! Delicious frozen yogurt in Linton is the perfect destination for a cool, good-for-you treat. Come try some of our amazing flavors. Then top off the flavor of your choice with over 40 different toppings to choose from. New flavors added weekly. Stop by downtown Linton today and see why it's yo delicious.
High school where the Miners, another big play, first play on the possession touchdown. Tonight's game brought to you in part by Asphalt Doctor in Bloomfield. For all your paving, seal coating, striping, and repairs, call the Asphalt Doctor for a free estimate, 812-327-4446.
Now it is 7-6 in favor of North Knox as they play the North Davies Cougars.
Got an update here. Cards are beating the Cubs 1-0 in the top of the 4th for those of you interested in a baseball score. As Wilson gets ready to kick off, sends it deep this time. That's probably about as long a kick as we've seen him make, taking it about the 16-yard line over there. And going to be brought down just over the 25-yard line, trying to see who that was on the return.
26, and that tackle was made by Chance Howard, number 52. Made a lot of big plays last week playing the nose tackle. Nice coverage that time, a nice kind of a higher kick. The guys were able to get down there. That's the kind of kick that we like to see.
So going to be spotted at 26, 27-yard line. 1st and 10 Eastern, and a big drive now for the Thunderbird offense. The defense unable to answer the bell. Can the offense knock it down?
Well, they kind of put themselves in a hole last the series. A 1-yard loss and a 12 men on the field deal put them at a 2nd and 16.
Wide receiver out to the near side and the far. 2 backs in the backfield. Runner in motion is the tight end. Now they're going to take it right up the gut with Hamilton.
Doesn't get him down, but he just ran into a big pile of Miners. It's all big 78 Dylan Morris in the pile of that, but also Caden Walker, number 55, out there at one of the defensive ends as well.
Wow, it seems like a lot of generous spots tonight for where I think the ball is, but nonetheless going to be 2nd and 7 from about the 30-yard line here.
Give him 3 yards.
3 wide receivers to the near side, 1 to the far.
That was first carry for Caleb Hamilton, 35. He's usually spread out to that where he is now.
He's out in the middle position of the 3 wide receivers on the right. Isaac Hamilton in the backfield with Graham. Takes the snap. Graham going to keep it himself, I believe. He faked the handoff, gets it out over the 35-yard line. Going to be close to a first down.
And that was completely a run play as he just tucked it up and tried to find a spot to go, a lot like what we see Tyler do.
Going to be a yard short, so the ball going to be at the 36-yard line.
Figley and Morris.
Now they're going to give it to him. So they give him the first down.
So the generous spot once again.
Ball out to the 37. Well, it almost had to be the 37. It just about had to be a first down.
Yeah.
So Graham picks up 7 on that run, and Eastern with the first down.
53 yards on 7 carries now for Jeffrey Graham. Definitely proven that he's a quality athlete, and he's just a junior. They got a lot to be thankful for.
2 wide receivers to the near side, 1 to the far with a tight end. He comes in motion now, stops in the backfield. Graham takes the snap, comes to the near side, going to keep it himself. It's another straight
there
run.
You go.
Chad Trent with a nice stop in the backfield.
Boy, if he doesn't make that stop, he's got some at least some positive yards. That's the kind of stuff you need. Chad tackles a bit high, kind of went for the shoulders there.
So back to the 35, 36-yard line. Statistically, it's over the 35, so the 36 would be a loss of 1, make it 2nd down 11.
Big play by the outside linebacker. With a guy like Graham, you can't bite. If you bite and he gets outside of containment, it's, you just got to keep your fingers crossed at that point.
Wide receivers to both sides, 1 back in the backfield, Isaac Hamilton. Graham waits a snap with 5 on the play clock. Takes it, going to look to pass this time, looks over the middle, has the receiver open, throws it just a little bit behind him.
Just didn't look for the ball. You know what he was looking for? He was looking for Tyler Muir getting ready to tag him. That's what that was all about. 43, Gavin Hill really was open. The ball was there. He just was looking at number 3 coming from the safety position. And kudos to Tyler. He didn't hit him. Yeah. That could have been one of those where you hit the guy. Back in our day, you would have hit the guy. They don't do that anymore.
Right. A lot of stuff to protect the players from head injuries and things like that. As 2 wide receivers come to the near side this time, 1 to the far. Now
this is really a big play for Eastern. They don't want to turn the ball back over to Linton already with a 21-7 lead at the 6:17 mark of the 2nd quarter.
Graham in the backfield by himself. Takes the snap, going to look to throw. Pressure from the Miners, got a flag.
They stopped the play.
Eberhardt had an interception, but shouldn't have been a delay of game. The back judge threw the flag.
Well, I tell you what, that was right into the hands of Mitch Eberhardt.
False start on Eastern. He called that from all the way. How's that guy call a false start? Interesting.
Very interesting.
So the ball goes back to the 31. I don't think I've ever seen that particular official on the field throw a flag for illegal procedure. He usually calls delay a game and pass interference calls.
Yeah, and that's one of the times they're happy that was called because
ball went right to Mitch Eberhardt.
About the 40-yard line, and you never know when a guy intercepts the ball for the Miners if that's going for 6.
3 wide receivers to the far side, 1 to the near, back with Graham in the backfield. And he's going to hand it off. A counter coming back this way. Isaac Hamilton out over the 35, still on his feet. And he gets it out near the 40 to the 39. Good hard running, but not anywhere near the first down.
Nice kind of a different play. And that time Mitch Everhart stayed back from his cornerback position and made the initial hit. He was helped out by Chance Howard up there as well. Seeing Walker in there playing defensive end this series in place of Mason.
So Gavin Hill back to punt again. Muir back deep to receive. The last punt was really short.
And the Miners have been getting close, too.
So the Miners going to get it back, a chance to put more points on the board. Snap a little high to the right. They're going to keep it, so he's rolling out to the right side. And the Miners are all over. They're going to get great field position here as they take back over.
I think that's Bill Smith, number 23, that got over there and made that sure tackle. And, boy, that's a big play.
Well, I'm not so sure. I wonder if Hill ran that time because the snap was high and wide or if that was a called fake. But the Miners are going to take over at the Eastern 38-yard line. So great field position for the Miners here with 5:26 left in the first half on the Highcom Security Services scoreboard. The Miners are on top 21-7.
Yeah, he didn't get much. You were watching the play. You thought the snap might have been high. Maybe that made a decision a little bit easier. But, boy, that's huge.
Clothier out wide to the right. Jackson in the slot to the right. And now they're going to roll out, look to throw again. And Pierce is open again. They can't get it to him. Tyler now fires it downfield. Going to be short of the receiver. He was pressured there by number 42. That's Treston Russell.
Yeah, and I'm wondering why he held off and just didn't run that. It looked like he easily had the speed.
Well, they'd sent a couple of receivers fairly deep down the field on, coverage was down there. He might have had some room. I thought he missed Pierce over the middle at the beginning. And anyway, going to be 2nd and 10.
Pressure from Russell, as you mentioned, kind of forced him out of the pocket, but he looked like he really wasn't running hard there. Maybe just trying to, work on his reads a little bit. That's one of the things the coaches have talked quite a bit about.
Tyler waits for the snap. 2 wide receivers again to the near side. Handoff going to go to Mason. He heads up the field. Nice run by Garrett down to the 20-yard line.
He is a bulldog. Will Cole and Graham are going to make the tackle, but it's Graham who put the damage on him.
I don't know if anybody puts damage on Garrett when he runs it. I think he does most of the damage himself. He gets it down to the 20, a pickup of 18, going to make it 1st and 10 for the Miners.
The Miners are starting to kind of dominate that inside line play. That's for Morris now. That's 41 yards. Morris Mason, that's 41 yards on 5 carries. I can't stop giving credit to either Dylan or Garrett.
Handoff this time to Eberhardt, going to the left side, cuts it back upfield. A shoestring tackle in between the 5 and the 10 there. And the Miners will have it 1st and goal.
Looked like he was heading in, and Will Cole got him, but had to be by the shoelace that brought him down. Smooth running that time at the 7-yard line with 4:55 to go in the first half.
So the Miners knocking on the door again, trying to go up by 3 scores. Clothier to the near side. Muir awaits the snap. In motion is Eberhardt. They give it back to him again. He bounces it to the outside, cuts it back up, and
he's in.
Takes it into the end zone. Mitch Eberhardt from 7 yards out puts the Miners on the board again.
4:37 on the clock, and you're starting to see a little bit more domination by the Miners up front. Too many holes out there, and Mitch just bounced that ball outside. A nice lead block by, I believe, Mason out there and whoever the tight end was on that side. And here comes Luke Wilson. Try to see who this is snapping, because that's normally a Corbin.
So far, they've been good, so we'll see if we can get another good one here. It's a little high to the inside, kick up, and Luke boots another one nice and
Kendall Williams. Kendall Williams on that snap. And actually, I think I'm wrong. I think Kendall's the one that snaps it. Pierce snaps it on the punts.
4:37 left in the first half on the Highcom Security Services scoreboard. Linton has now scored 21 unanswered. They lead 28-7. We'll be back in 30 seconds. You're listening to Linton Minor Football, produced by Media 5 Sports.
7 out.
Wilson gets ready to kick off, has it teed up at the 40. We've seen him kick it a little deeper here tonight than what he has. Nice place to come over here to the near side with one of those kicks this time. Wilson approaches, gives it a kick, another kick right down the middle of the field. And it's fumbled by Eastern back towards the goal line, picked up at about the 2. Now he runs into his own man, cuts it back up the middle, and the Miners bury him before he's able to get to the 15-yard line.
By buried, you mean number 52, Chance Howard, and Will Cole's going to
get up a little slow.
He gets up. Fonseca was there as well. Tried to catch that over like you would a receiver, and that's tough to do on a kickoff.
Nice kick by Wilson, back deep that time. Eastern going to take over 1st and 10 at the 15-yard line.
That was a nice kick. I'm not sure which way the wind is blowing, but, boy, that one that will help his average for sure.
Well, you keep talking about big possessions, another big one for Eastern here, because if they don't run enough time off the clock here, they give the Miners a chance to score again.
Yeah, defensively, they just are not showing that they can stop the Miners at all, and the only way you defeat that is by driving. They had a couple first drives. We've seen that this year. You know, opposition kind of has a good initial drive.
Graham takes the snap, rolls out to the near side, fires the pass out there. It's caught. And I believe that's number 43, Gavin Hill on the catch. Actually, it's 34. That's Hamilton, Isaac Hamilton. Going to pick up close to the first down here. We may have to have a measurement.
He was hit
immediately. Nope, they're going to give him the first down. So once again, they get him out to the 25-yard line.
He was hit immediately by Chad Trent, but he didn't go down. 9 first downs apiece, Darren. And Eastern's had the ball about roughly twice as much as the Miners, but we've had 2 plays where we've scored on the first play of the drive.
3 quick scoring drives. If the last one was just 49 seconds, then you throw in the 2 first play drives.
17-second drive.
Graham waits for the snap, takes it. Now he's going to keep it himself again, right up the middle, runs into several Miners once again. May have got a yard out of it.
See number 31, Avery Gentry getting up. 62, T-Pig getting up. At that time, he ran right into a wall. Nice again also by Garrett Mason from defensive end, because that's the key. He's reading that defensive end and whether or not he should shoot outside or inside.
2nd down and 9 at the 26. Eastern looks over to the sideline.
I think the Miners got it lit into on the sideline after that long drive that they come down the field and scored. And since then, the defense has done a pretty good job.
2 backs in the backfield with Graham, 1 to each side. And they're going to fake it. Graham's going to roll out to the right, looking to throw. Now he's going to keep it himself, cuts back up the middle, and he's hammered at the 28-yard line. Going to be a pickup of a yard or 2 here maybe.
He took a 2-way hit from the left and right.
He's a little slow getting up this time.
Well, the big hit that got him came from courtesy of Dylan Moore, 78, but it was on the near side. I didn't catch who it was, but he was hit low and high on both, and those are, when you see a body twist around, that's always a little rough. Nice by the Miner backside defense that they didn't go chasing him. And that's what he's looking for. He cut back. A nice play by Graham, but the Miner defense was there for it.
So 3rd down and 7 here. If they don't get a first down here, the Miners will probably use the timeout. Graham awaits the snap. 2 wide receivers near, 1 far. Going to look to throw. Fires it up. And potential interception. Here it is. No, it's dropped.
Passon had it in his hand. It was overthrown for kind of up in the air that time. Number 5, Deckard, was out there intended for it.
Passon got his first interception of his career last week, I should say.
Well, that should have been interception number 2 right there.
Eastern is going to have to punt, though, so the Miners are going to get it back and still have a couple of minutes left to put more points on the board in the first half here.
Yeah, and that stopped the clock. They faked the punt. I have a tough time believing they would have faked it. I think you were right that snap, and he just made a judgment call.
So Hill back to back to punt again, rather. Muir back deep to receive. Snap this time's a little low. He fumbles it. Now the Miners are all over him there. Partially blocked by Dylan Morris. So the Miners going to have it 1st and 10 at the Eastern 24. And they take over with 2:21 left here, so plenty of time for the Miners to add another score.
2 snaps, questionable. That one by far the worst one. And, boy, that sets up the Miners with a big scoring opportunity. Dylan Morris was right there to put the hit on him, but they're at the 25-yard line of Eastern. You know, it's tough enough to play the Miners. You don't want to give them the ball at the 35.
Tyler rolls out, fires the pass down the field, caught by Clothier, breaks a tackle, and he's going to take it into the end zone.
Kid missed the tackle out there.
Jacob Clothier with the touchdown, so the Miners again strike on the first play.
Wow, that might be a record. 3 first down plays.
2 minutes, 14 seconds left in the first half.
And that one was just a 7-second play, and boy, that quiets a lot of people up.
So Clothier with the touchdown from Muir. Wilson on to try to tack on the extra point here. Good snap, kick in the air, and right through there once again. So with 2:14 left in the first half on the Highcom Security Services scoreboard, it's Linton 35, Eastern 7. We'll be back in 30 seconds. This is a Media 5 sports production. And his, adjustments he's made here, and Miners offense also doing well under the direction of Jake Jennings. So both coaches doing a good job.
13-7, kind of a surprising halftime score. North Davies on top of North Knox. I wouldn't have expected that at all.
No, me either. Wilson set to kick off, has it at the 40-yard line teed up. And another line drive kick down the middle, bounces, and going to be fielded inside the 10 at about the 9-yard line. And there's a bunch of Miners right there to make the tackle. So the special teams picking up the pace here.
Yes, indeed, and that was number 12 for the Miners. I believe he is a freshman. That's Drake Cunningham. Got down there to make the stick. Hey, you just love seeing some of these freshmen and sophomores that are JV kids get the opportunity to play at the varsity on the kickoff team.
I believe that was Jackson Rogers on the return for Eastern there. So the ball going to be marked at the 20-yard line. So once again, the Miners special teams make it where Eastern has to go a long way. And now if you're Eastern, you just don't want to make any mistakes here with 2:06 remaining in the half. You don't want to give the Miners a chance back down here again.
They got to find what was working for them in that first drive and really the first part of that second drive, because they were really moving the ball fairly good. But the Miners have made adjustments, no question about it.
Graham going to keep it, looks to cut up the middle, and a host of Miners there to bring him down.
And his helmet goes off, so that means for one play, Eastern's going to have somebody else at the quarterback position.
So Graham will have to take a play off. He heads to the sideline. Looks like backup quarterback will be Jackson Rogers as he heads onto the field, or maybe he's just heading out there to take his place. He's going to line up at receiver, so it looks like actually Deckard looks like he may be taking that position. Pickup of about 3, make it 2nd and 7.
Well, it could be like Brian Hoyer last night, come in for one play and end up staying in the whole game for the Houston Texans. Got to bank on this being a running play, Darren.
So Deckard indeed comes in at quarterback, runner in motion, stops in the backfield. There's the snap, handoff, goes to Hamilton. He takes it right up the gut.
Oh, now Miners Jackson's helmet goes flying.
So he's going to have to take a play off as well. That was Isaac Hamilton on the carry. The Miners going to take a timeout, I believe. Now, if they take a timeout, does he still have to take a play off?
I don't think so.
I don't think that's why the Miners take the timeout.
No, but I that is an interesting thing. I've seen teams take a timeout when a guy has been down for an injury or like he's got the breath knocked out of him, and they figure we'll take a timeout, keep him in.
Looks like it's going to be 3rd down and about 4 when we come back to play here. So another big play for the Eastern offense.
Yeah. Well, they got to be a little shell-shocked because they at a 7-7 tie, and they had the ball after the Miners kicked it back, and they were at their own 9-10, moved the ball up to about the 40. And really, he just overthrows Hill out there, and Eberhardt makes the pick. But the Miner offense is just too explosive. I mean, if they play up, then what you're seeing is the plays they sit back, worried about the pass that Mason busts up the middle for big gains. If they creep up, then Jackson's wide open and down the middle of the field, and it's good to see Clothier as well. It's 3 touchdown passes tonight for Tyler Muir.
Back to play here. See if Graham back in at quarterback here, I would assume. So 3rd down and 4. Graham joined by Hamilton in the backfield. That's Isaac Hamilton. Players look over the sidelines. Get the call from the coach. Down to 11 on the play clock. And Graham takes the snap. He's going to keep it himself up the middle, gets it out near the 30-yard line. Going to be close to a first down. We'll see where they spot it.
Well, given on past, they'll probably give it to him, although he looks a little short.
They're going to bring out the chains, I believe.
Caden Walker, 55, was there to kind of shove him down. It looked like he just kind of had a head of steam and kind of fell forward.
And they're going to say it's short by a yard, so now the Miners take another timeout. And 4th and 1, would you dare go for it?
A minute 17. I don't know if you're Coach Perriton right now. I think you're probably thinking if we can't get 1 yard, I mean we very well could score from 80 yards away.
Very true.
At a yard, and really that's almost a half a yard. So
I think with that center you got, you just get right up there under center.
Again, will he go under center? Or I mean, you think you could just take the snap and fall forward over that 300-pound center out there?
Absolutely. So Eastern over at the sideline, figuring out what they want to do here on a 4th down, and really it's less than a yard.
Yeah, it's just a tiny bit. And I bet we're going to see Chance Howard. Yeah, I see him out there, 52, lining up at the nose. Well, that's T. Pig, 62. I gave up trying to call him Tietzia. To teach you, I asked him. He said, just call me T. So
just
when
T,
you hear it.
Yep, just T. Same thing in the classroom. So Eastern indeed out of the shotgun. 2 backs with Graham. See if they try to draw the Miners off sides.
Also try to see if they don't just go Hail Mary and try to get it out there and make a big giant play.
You could do that too on if you beat them, you probably score a touchdown. Now the Miners do indeed jump, or nope, it's going to be a false start. I'd say you'll see the punting unit now.
Yeah. Boy, that's a big play. I didn't see what happened. I was focused on Graham, but
somebody moved up there. I thought the Miners jumped, but the flag goes against Eastern, and now the punting team lines up for the Thunderbirds.
Yeah, 4th and 6 is a little bit more tougher, and they've had a little bit of an adventure in their last 2 punts. Keep it and ran to the right, got nothing, and then the last one, really got nothing out of that one. It would have been blocked. Morris got back there, and the Miners were able to score right off the bat. A minute 17 still in the half.
Yeah, if they kick it to Tyler and he can get some yardage here. So Hill back to punt. This time a good snap, kicks in the air towards the far sideline, goes out of bounds quickly. It'll be interesting to see where they mark that. And the referee holds his hand up. It will be in Eastern territory.
Oh, my.
45 down near the 40-yard line, and that's where he puts it, at the 40-yard line. So the Miners take over at the Eastern 40.
That's basically a 16-yard punt.
54 seconds, more than enough time. We've already seen on, 4 or 5 occasions tonight, more than enough time for the Miners.
Yeah, we may have still another timeout. I bet we go to the air a few times here. We have not seen really, Darren, the tight end catch a whole lot this year for us.
We really haven't, and you wonder if that's something that not necessarily hold them back, but.
Well, when Pierce goes out there, he's lined up in that wing, and that's essentially at the tight end position area. But you would think that the
old tight end jump pass.
Yeah, I mean, that's essentially what it looks like.
Oh, they're going to change the clock to 1:10, so that even helps the Miners out more. So 1:10.
That's That's
a big
16,
difference, 16
second
seconds. Difference. So here come the Miners, 1st and 10 at the Eastern 40-yard line.
See who we got out there. Oh, we see Chet. Well, that's the Clothier and Jackson on both sides, on the same side.
2 wide receivers to the near side, 1 to the far. Tyler takes the snap. He's going to keep it. Comes to the right side, looking to get to the sideline. Turns it upfield, runs out of bounds at just short of the 30, I believe. They'll spot him. Good job of getting that clock stopped.
Yeah, just turn around and used his speed. It still doesn't look like he's running full steam. Looks like they got him down to the 31, 9-yard gain. That's 91 yards for Tyler Muir in the first half on just 4 touches.
3 touchdown passes on top of that. So 2nd down and 1 for the Miners. Snap, going to hand it off this time to Mason. He goes to the left, now tries to cut it back up. He'll pick up the 1st down. That'll stop the clock.
Yeah.
Out over the 30 to the 29. Bloomington South 16, Columbus North nothing at halftime. And the Cardinals continue to be ahead of the Cubs 1-0 in the bottom of the 5th. So the ball marked right at the 30, 1st down for the Miners. Clock will be running here with 55 seconds left now. Tyler rolls out to the right, looking to throw, has an open receiver, fires it out there and completed it. Breaks the tackle. Pierce Jackson has a chance to put it in the end zone and does.
He does. Pierce is not going to run out of bounds.
Nope.
And he just juked the guy. I believe it was Graham, 22, so that's a good player. 4 touchdown passes for Tyler Muir, and what lights out work by Pierce Jackson.
44 seconds left in the first half, and Pierce on a 30-yard touchdown pass. Like you said, he might have gave the impression he was going to run out of bounds, but that wasn't going to happen.
Well, I've seen that with Grant Stom over the years and other Miners that they just assume you're going to take a duck out of the bounds, and he just makes a move, and there's another perfect down the middle strike by Luke Wilson, and what a weapon he's turned out to be.
So with 44 seconds left in the first half on the Highcom Security Services scoreboard, it's the Miners 42, the Thunderbirds 7. We'll be back in 30 seconds. This is a Media 5 Sports production.
Yo! Delicious frozen yogurt in Linton is the perfect destination for a cool, good-for-you treat. Come try some of our amazing flavors. Then top off the flavor of your choice with over 40 different toppings to choose from. New flavors added weekly. Stop by downtown Linton today and see why it's yo delicious.
High School. Tonight's game brought to you in part by Anderson Poindexter Funeral Homes in Linton and Duggar, and the new Ming Family Funeral Home opening soon on Highway 58 in Odin, serving you with funeral pre-planning and at-need service since 1930. Anderson Poindexter Funeral Homes, a name you've learned to trust.
What a second quarter explosion by the Miners. 35 second quarter points. You got to remember this was a 7-7 tie at the end of one.
Just really been an amazing turnaround here as Wilson gets ready to kick off yet again. And I think the wind has kind of came out of the sails.
Yeah, there are a lot of Eastern-Greene fans here. They come out in droves, which is great to see that kind of support. The Miners side is pretty packed as well.
Kick end over end, going to be fielded at the 15-yard line, out to the 20, 25, and the 30 before he's grabbed by a Miner there. I believe that was Jackson Rogers again on the return.
Chad Trent, number 10, got him by the leg, and a couple other guys got him down as well.
Going to spot it at the 30-yard line, and you almost wonder if Eastern will just try to get out of here and go on to the locker room.
What do you say to your team? I mean, I don't know what you say to your team.
35 and a half seconds left. I'm like you. You kind of got to try to figure out what it was that was working early and see if you can get it to work again. Well, I think you give a lot of credit to the Miner defense.
I think the Miner defense has adjusted, and we've seen this all year long. Some teams come out that first drive and think, what's happening?
Now we get a flag Eastern again with too many men on the field. So I guess that's one way you can try to
get a little bit of an advantage.
So that'll take it back to the 25.
Well, I will say this, Darren, I don't think the Miners with no penalties tonight.
I believe that's true.
I got 4 for 20 yards against Eastern.
One wide receiver to the near side, one to the far. 2 backs in the backfield with Graham. 1st and 15 from the 25. Takes the snap, hands it off, coming to the near side. Isaac Hamilton gets it to the 30, out over the 35 to about the 36-yard line.
Avery Gentry out there to bring him down.
22 seconds left. I wonder if the Thunderbirds will run another play or if that's it.
Now they're at the line of scrimmage ready to go. Ball at the 36.
So that'll make it 2nd down and about 4. And the clock down to 8 seconds, 7 seconds, and I believe that's going to be it. I think they'll head to the locker room. So at the half on the Highcom Security Services scoreboard, it's the Linton Miners 42, the Eastern-Greene Thunderbirds 7. We'll take a 2-minute break and be back with the halftime show. You're listening to Linton Miner Football on QD 93.3 and WQTYradio.com, produced by Media 5 Sports.
kind of the soul of their team.
Back once again at Eastern High School, Darren Clayton and Dan Phillips at the half. The Miners on top, 42-7 on the Highcom Security Services scoreboard. They got on the board quick. Eastern attempts an onside kick to open the game. They nearly recovered it.
Yeah, I think they should have had it. I don't know how the Miners came away with that.
But the Miners do indeed get it at the 47-yard line. Good field position. You think, okay, here we go. And before you could even get in your seats, Tyler Muir takes it 53 yards, and the Miners have their first score of the night. Luke Wilson adds the extra point. It's 7-0 with 11:47 still left on the clock in the first quarter. Eastern answers with a very nice drive of their own. They take over at the 36-yard line, march it right down the field, 64 yards. For the score, Deckard from Graham on an 8-yard pass, 7-7 after the extra point.
And the thing about that, Darren, is that was methodical, and they made some plays, and Graham ran around the field, and they completed all their passes. And I was thinking to myself, okay, we got to make some adjustments.
Definitely, and the Miners did, because we head into the second quarter, 7-7 after one, and we head into the second quarter. The Miners get their first touchdown with 11:03 remaining in the first half. Garrett Mason on an 8-yard run. Wilson adds the extra point, 14-7. Then with 8:57 to go, Pierce Jackson 55 yards from Tyler Muir, a pass. Wilson again adds the extra point, 21-7 in favor of the Miners. Then go a little bit of a gap there, 4:37 left. Eberhardt punches it in from 7 yards out. Wilson again with the kick, 28-7. And then we add another touchdown with 2:14 remaining. Jacob Clothier, a 24-yard pass from Tyler Muir. Wilson with the kick, 35-7. And finally, rounding out the first half scoring as the Miners put up 35 in the second quarter. Pierce Jackson, another 30-yarder from Tyler. Wilson again the kick, 42-7, and we're joined now by Shane Huffman.
Well, Shane, that first quarter, I can only imagine the fireworks on the Miners sideline. They had to be a little upset with how that. I mean, they came out and scored the first play, but kind of give me the feeling of the sideline that first Eastern-Greene drive where they kind of went down the field and put 7 on us.
I think that they were out there and really thought that, okay, these guys are here to play. And, a lot of credit to the kids and the coaching staff. After the first couple of possessions, they really made some adjustments on defense and started locking them down.
This Miner offense just deadly tonight with the pass and the run. Really, anything they wanted to do, they've been able to accomplish. I'm sure you got some big numbers. What kind of numbers are we looking at right now?
Well, we're just under 300 yards total for the half. We got 109 yards passing on 3 completions, and I think about 175 yards rushing, right around in there.
Well, that's the kind of thing you would like to see all the time, and really should have had 4 touchdowns, Darren, because that one first pass to Pierce was wide open across the middle. Defensively, the Miners gave up a little bit of yardage there to Graham, but like you say, since that third series, they've shut things down. What kind of numbers are you looking at Eastern?
On the Eastern side, we've got the quarterback, 22 with 63 yards, and he's been most of the offense. The next highest is got 21 yards rushing, and then they've had a couple of passes that have been a decent distance. He's got 53 yards passing is what I've got.
Well, we've had one interception, and really Mitch had one that would have been a pick if the back judge doesn't call a strange procedure penalty, and then, of course, Trey Passon has one kind of fall right in his hands and doesn't get it. So defensive backs have adjusted well. What's the mood like on the sideline once the Miners train started rolling? They look pretty fired up.
Yeah, they're pretty fired up. They definitely, I think Eastern came out. I mean, Eastern was definitely ready to play, I noticed a lot of, when you're sitting there on the sidelines and you see the hits, and Eastern was hitting us, it seemed like just as hard as we were hitting them to start the game. We got a couple touchdowns, and it seems like we're still hitting, and it really is taking the wind out of Eastern's
Would
sails.
seem that Tyler has got a little bit of extra fire in him tonight. A lot of talk around the area about Jeffrey Graham, rightly so. I am impressed with Jeffrey Graham. I think he can move. He's got some speed. He's got a good arm. But I think Tyler wants to prove that he can throw the ball as well. We all know Tyler can run, but it looks like he's trying to throw the ball a little bit more tonight.
Yeah, Graham, the quarterback for Eastern, he's good, but he's not Tyler Muir. Tyler's.
Yeah.
I mean, I think when Tyler got the ball for the handoff and raced in for the touchdown on the very first play, I think that kind of puts a stamp on
and perhaps
the player there.
Perhaps to look at the other side of the coin, when you score All right, let's go back to the onside kick. Did anybody see that coming?
Didn't look like it, that's for sure. And honestly, Eastern seemed slow to the ball. I think
they were going to get it.
They were waiting for it to go 10 yards, I believe, but we touched it before it went 10 yards, so it was a live ball.
Yeah.
But we were fortunate to come away with it, and
that's Trevor Hill, I believe, 61 was the guy that got it. That's 2 big plays now that he's done. But the first play from scrimmage, boom, he's gone. Does that play maybe into that first defensive drive, thinking, okay, we're up 7-0, that easy? Does the defense kind of sit back a little bit?
It didn't seem like it. They were doing a lot of moving. They were moving Demo around on the line a lot, trying to get him in the right spot to be as effective as he can be. So, I don't know that that they moved, took it easy or, kind of took it for granted that, this was going to be another walk in the park. But I really think Eastern came out and to me, this is the best offensive team we've played since North Speedway and North Vermilion.
Yeah.
They were both good offensive teams, and these guys, the Eastern's play calling, very solid. They're putting their kids in a lot of good positions to make plays. I just think our defense and our coaching staff has made the adjustment. And
trademark of Miners football program forever. Well, I appreciate you making the trip over. Beautiful night for football again. We've been awfully lucky. Hopefully the second half will go injury-free. Avery Gentry looks like he's doing all right.
Yeah, I think so. It was okay. And then, Pierce's helmet popped off there. I think
he didn't stop playing, though. He was in on the tackle, I think.
No, I wouldn't. No, he sure didn't. He kept going. It looked like he may have got popped in the face there, but
that just inspires him a little bit more.
Now, Dan, I'm sure that Shane liked last week on the sideline much better than tonight.
Yeah, it was all fun last week. We've not been hit with that bitter cold weather that's bound to come. You've not experienced that on the sideline yet, have you?
I haven't, and I'm kind of a baby when it comes to the cold weather too.
Good night.
So last week I was thinking I'm in real trouble when it gets really cold out because I'm not a fan of the cold weather, but I'll tough it out for you.
Fortunately
for
you, we won't be going to Eastern Hancock because they're in 2A. But that might have been the wind blowing in off that interstate. Was brutal. I almost felt bad for Darren. I had to kind of shake him around, and as far as going to break him in half. But Shane, appreciate you coming up here and making the effort. Probably going to be a busy second half, I imagine, with a lot of guys getting in the contest.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Thanks a lot, guys.
Thanks, Shane. Shane Huffman making his way over from the minor sideline, keeping the statistics. He's joined over there by Chad House. We'll have to see if we can talk Chad into coming over. He helps out with the junior high program, so maybe we can get Chad to come over one night and give us a little insight into the junior high program.
And that's something that we really haven't talked a whole lot about is the JV team. I think it's just lost one game and who the coaches are. I know Joe Lorg is involved. Silas is involved. Really, you wouldn't know because all the coaches are there for a game like that. And then you got to go down to the JV 7th and 8th grade teams have done a good job. They play bigger schools. They play West Vigo. The 8th grade team, I believe, was lost once.
Yeah, they play the Bloomington schools and the Terre Haute schools, and they do play some bigger schools.
And I'm seeing some Franklin. I get the name wrong. Wes Franklin, am I right there?
Wes helps out with this.
And he's kind of sent a couple of notes about what the team has done. So top to bottom, again, the Miners look like good things are coming in the future. The JV kids got a lot of size. A lot of dudes out there, and, of course, skill guys just seem to be born in Linton and all the way down to the youth program. So, I'm just almost in a state of shock at a 42-7 score. I thought that 7-7, if Eastern-Greene breaks something in that second time they got the ball, they get down to the 40, and they take a lead. It's hard to say what's going to happen, but it's great for us to be able to play somebody at the caliber of Jeffrey Graham.
Absolutely, and really and truthfully, that test for the Miners in the first quarter, they probably haven't had that since the North Vermilion game, and even though they've made the adjustments at least for that first drive, 2 drives really, hey, we've got to stay sharp on defense as well. So
yeah, and the team probably got a lot of pride. They don't want Eastern to at this point in the season. They don't want them to do that. That first drive for them was 7 plays, 21 yards, and score. Then they got the ball. Ooh, I got Linton there. That's the wrong one. They actually got from their 36. That was a 9-play drive that, as I looked down through that, there was no third downs in that series. They churned out, it looks like 5 first downs. And then they got the ball at the 10. And, again, here they were driving down. And they faced a 3rd and 5. And he just missed Campbellton on that little overthrow that Eberhardt makes the pick.
Yes.
And really, as I look down since that moment, I see 1 first down in the next 5 possessions. So something happened defensively that they learned what to do. Very coachable kids at Linton, and always we're not even at halftime. They made those adjustments on the fly.
Right, absolutely. And it's like you said, it's one thing for the coaches to make that adjustment and see what's going on and know how they want to attack it. But when you can take what's going on the field and get that communicated to the players and have the players follow through on it, that's pretty good at this level. Now we're still a little bit of ways away from the start of the second half. We'll go ahead and take another 2-minute break, come back with more of the halftime show. You're listening to Linton Minor Football on QT 93.3 and WQTYradio.com, as well as watching on LintonMiners.com, presented by Media 5 Sports. Back once again at Eastern High School. Darren Clayton alongside Dan Phillips at the half on the Highcom Security Services scoreboard. The Miners on top, 42-7. And Dan, I know you had a little bit of computer trouble today, but what can you share with us about any rankings or area teams or things going on?
Well, clearly in sectional 48, the Miners got to be pretty well the heavy-duty favorites. As Perry Central last week, a game everybody was watching, 31-14, West Washington, who probably is going to be the favorite in sectional 47. They kind of went down there and handed Perry Central, but they got a quarterback that popped a collarbone, Lane Lynch, and he's out for the season. So it's going to make things tough. Eastern and Tecumseh got beat 30-20 last week. Tonight they face a North Posey team. Typically North Posey's tough, but they're 1-6 this year. North Davies is meeting with North Knox tonight. North Davies got on the winning side, their second win, 34-14 last week. They were ahead at the half of North Knox. The Warriors, of course, have dropped 2 in a row to Vincennes Lincoln and to us. Tell City, the Marksmen, I don't know a whole lot about them, but they actually won last week. They beat North Posey. I don't know how many years it's been since that's happened. However, tonight they face the undefeated 3A Gibson Southern Titans. So that could be back, and I really hope that we don't draw Tell City because that's a heck of a haul. The Miners, of course, tonight with Eastern-Greene. We got North Central on the horizon. North Central, they beat Riverton Park 55-12, and they play Wood Memorial. Wood Memorial dropped 34-14. The only body ranked in our particular area is us, and we've been a solid number 3 for the whole time. I will say the AP has Perry Central still at 15th. If you want to look at the sectional 47, I think it's a 2-team race there with West Washington and, of course, Eastern-Greene. And West Washington goes from playing Perry Central last week to facing Duggar tomorrow in a game that then they close out with Salem. So, boy, that could be a tough one there for them. Springs Valley's kind of gotten themselves together, 2 wins in a row over Crawford County and Tecumseh. They're probably going to face a team that's angry, Perry Central, going to be coming out there. If you look at the ratings, in sectional 47. I really think West Washington is about 10th across the board, 10th in AP and Indiana football conference. Eastern gets a nod at 12th in the coaches poll. 46 is pretty much all going to be Indianapolis Lutheran. The Lutheran Saints, even though they have a record, Darren, of 3-4, heads and above, they're going to be the favorite. Monrovia beat them 51-7. They should beat Speedway tonight. Then they close out with Manual. They'll probably be 5-4 coming into that. They are actually somehow they're not ranked in any of the top 10. They're in a 12th in one of the polls. Knightstown somehow is in there at 15th. The other Southern sectional, big game tonight with North Vermilion and Fountain Central. Fountain Central is ranked 14th in the AP. Of course, North Vermilion is ranked 4th and 5th in AP and I and the Indiana football side of things. Since North Vermilion's played us, Darren, let's see, 63-0, 81-7, 54-6 over Rockville last week.
Sounds like we woke them up a little bit.
So they've kind of been on fire. Fountain Central has not really faced anybody at that level yet. They beat Benton Central. No scores from that, but Vermilion's heavily favored. Sheridan, still hard to discount them, even though they're 15th in the coaches poll, but they sit 2-5. But I just looking at who they play, Tri-Central's undefeated. North White is undefeated. I think when you get into the real season, postseason against 1A teams, you got to watch out. In South Putnam, you got to give some kudos out to the Arrows out there. The Arrows now have only lost 2 games, and those 2 games are to us and the Northview, undefeated teams. So they beat South Putnam last week, 42-20-34. So I think South Putnam is possibly going to be somebody to watch out for. North, to take it real quick because we won't worry about these guys yet. War sectional of 44 with Adams Central. They got 4 of the top 10 teams in Class A. Adams Central, Shenandoah, Southern Wells, and Tri-Central. Obviously, 43 comes down to Northfield and LaVille, 2 teams we don't know a whole lot about, but yet they are in the top 10. 41 is Pioneer, and 42 is Lafayette Central Catholic. Unfortunately, North White is undefeated, and North Judson has lost 1 game in sectional 41, but they're like 40-point underdogs against Pioneer.
Thanks for all that information.
That's all you need to know about 1A sports.
Thanks for all that information. If you guys would see Dan's computer program, it's just amazing up here. And unfortunately, it sounded like he lost some information today that he puts into it. But it's got everything you want to know about what is. He's being very serious. Everything you want to know about 1A football is right there on this spreadsheet that he's created, and very impressive. And thank him for having all that information at his disposal.
Even if I wasn't on the radio, just because I enjoy doing it. And it's the minors. We rarely get to go up in those areas. Going to Sheridan was really cool, and this particular year, I think we really got a good shot. We can keep healthy, at least getting back up. And you wonder about seeing North Vermilion again. It's always scary to play a team twice, but most people across the state all agree that Pioneers ranked number 2, Lafayette Central Catholic number 1, and they've just been beating the tar out of people, and we've been beating the tar out of people too. But, Lafayette Central Catholic, they don't play anybody in 1A. It's all 3A, a couple of 2As. So that's tough.
I think we've been doing it long enough now that we've gained a lot of respect from the people up north that at first, they all say, well, they don't play anybody, and that all happened, and then we just keep getting ourselves back. And even though we haven't been able to take that step and get to that last game, we have up the schedule this year, and I think, us beating North Vermilion and us beating Speedway has helped us gain a little bit from
the speed that Speedway had. This is not one of the better Speedway teams that still 2 wins is all they've had, but that was some speed and some size, and I think we showed we could do it. I think going to Sheridan a couple of years ago and winning that and winning back-to-back over them, I think statewide we have finally got it, and a lot of people are rooting for the Miners. A lot of people, the Ritter guys seem like they are always supporting the Miners. A lot of people would love to see us get up there. It's just such an unsurmountable task thinking about that Lafayette Central Catholic team. That's really David and Goliath of the highest level. And, Pioneer, they're a tough team as well. But Pioneer's a lot like us, a rural community. They just line up and go at it like we do. And the Lafayette, they just, I talking to a guy, they had 5 or 6 guys. He thought that they would be playing on Saturdays in 1A Division I football.
That's nice. Got a score. Bo Baker sends me a score. Bedford North Lawrence leading 38-6 at halftime. Always like to wish Coach Weber good luck in his games. So
they won last week too. So that's I was going to ask you how many Linton coaches do we got going down there? I mean, Derek Barker, I think, is a former minor center down there.
Down there. Coach Hayden, of course, left, and
Joe Hayden is
down
down
Joe
there.
Hayden's helping out as well. So several of coaching staff has gathered down at Bedford trying to get that program, and I know they've got it headed in the right direction.
Yeah,
There's no doubt in my mind.
Doing a lot better than what they have been. And I kind of read something today where I think that they aren't going to be playing the Bloomington schools in the next couple of years. So they're looking for a different, I guess, South Dearborn to open. And but I was kind of surprised, really, because, well, that's so close and there's such rivalries, but that could be a conference situation as well.
Getting ready for the second half here. Second half brought to you in part by Midwest Satellite. Looking to reduce your TV bill? Call Mike Moore at Midwest Satellite in Linton to sign up for Dish Network. Packages start as low as $19.99 a month. Includes free installation, free movie channels, and a free Hopper HD whole home DVR system. Mike will even pay $50 on your first bill. So don't call those out-of-state numbers. Call Mike Moore at Midwest Satellite, 812-847-8848. Eastern will receive the second half kickoff.
I'll say that's the good news for them is they get the ball first, and maybe they can come out of the pack and try to get something going offensively. I'll tell you another stat that just to throw out, I've been wanting to say is the Miners are 2-2 in the red zone. That means we're 26 of 32 in the red zone. That was over 80% coming into the night. That's a pretty good, and that would be better. We had 2 field goals blocked in the red zone. So we're pretty consistent if we get down inside the 20.
So we flip-flop directions here. It looked like Eastern was ready to receive going left to right. Instead, they're going to turn it around and go right to left. Back deep to receive. Jeffrey Graham.
That confuses me because isn't that the way they were
Caleb Hamilton.
Isn't that the way they finished the half?
Yeah, well, they get
the
Miners
choice.
Miners got to choose which way to go because Eastern chose to take the ball, so the Miners will choose which way they want to go. So you mentioned wind earlier. I'm wondering if we're kicking into the wind here and we'll get the wind in the fourth or vice versa. So Wilson approaches, second half underway. This time a little bit of a shorter kick right into where nobody is. Bounced to the 20. Hamilton picks it up, brings it out over the 30 before he's met by the Miners. Gets it out near the 35-yard line.
Billy Smith, 23, is going to be the first one in there to make the tackle. I like that call. Kicked it to where there was nobody at.
Ben Burris in on that play, I believe, as well.
Yeah, you've been talking about that all night. The kick there, there's an obvious spot there where there's nobody at, and that time you put it right there.
1st and 10, Eastern is 35, their first drive of the second half, trailing 42-7. Wide receiver to the near side and far side. 2 backs in the backfield with Graham right now. One to his left, one behind him. And now a wide receiver in the slot.
Probably using as much time as they can. They already use a lot of that play clock.
Graham takes the snap, hands it off up the middle, Hamilton. And he gets it out over the 40 to the 41-yard line. That's Isaac Hamilton on that carry. So a nice pickup on first down, going to make it second down and 4.
Yeah, you'll take 6 yards on the first play, and that's what their coach would like to see. Pierce Jackson makes a tackle, but unusually so. He kind of was being dragged that time.
You know, you'd think here on a 2nd and 4 would be a good place for some play action or something to try to catch the Miner linebackers cheating up or a safety coming up.
I do notice Avery Gentry not in the game, and Ian Fonseca's moved into that inside backer position.
Maybe precautionary.
Yeah, I think so.
Graham, again, going to hand it off to Hamilton. Ball loose, I believe.
Loose. Chad Trent was able to knock the ball away.
And Chad Trent seems to think the Miners have recovered it, and they have. We'll see who came up with it.
That was Trent that caused it for sure, seeing who gets off the bottom. Looks like Zach Figley, number 5, but I don't know if he had the ball or not.
Looked like maybe he did. So Miners are going to take over 1st and 10 at the Eastern 44. So not what Eastern needed to start the second half.
Not at all, and a nice strip job there by Chad Trent coming from the outside linebacker spot, 11:07, not even a minute into the second half.
Mason joins Muir in the backfield, 2 wide receivers to the far side. They give it to, Tyler keeps it, fake the handoff, and now they drag Tyler down.
Well, they got him that time.
And an Eastern player going to be slow to get up here.
Oh, you don't want to see anybody get hurt this time of the season. He's slowly getting up, but he looks like he's having some trouble with a leg or an ankle.
That's not
senior.
Gavin Hill. He's going to make his way back towards the huddle. The trainer's coming out to check on him.
He's got to come out.
Yeah, he's going to.
At least he's putting some pressure on. No, you got to like that. He's refusing to come out of the contest.
I guess the question is, he's going to come out now.
Yeah, you got to get him out of there.
So he's replaced by Eli Britton, a sophomore.
He's a starter on the offensive line, so he's not somebody that doesn't play.
Tyler, quick pass out to Pierce on the flat to the left side, breaks a tackle,
Oh,
gets it
my
down the
goodness.
left sideline, and he may go again.
Flag.
Cuts it back and got a flag at about the 32-yard line. So
Flag at the 32, and Demo is standing there with his
it
hands on his
doesn't
shoulders.
look like he's very happy. So
Flag came late, and if Keith Dozier was here, he'd be saying that was probably a 42-7 flag.
yep, could very well have been. So he'll still get the yardage up to where that flag is, so about the 32-yard line it looks like, and they'll back it up 10 yards from there. So
Well, that talks off another 40-yard plus touchdown pass.
the ball marked at the 41, so Pierce will get credit for the, 14 yards on the pass from Tyler.
And they would have put it back to 41.
Back to the 41. Clothier to the near side. The Miners have their normal set. Jackson, Eberhardt, Jackson in motion. They're going to take the handoff, coming to the near side. Demo out there, knocks. There's one of your pancake
There
blocks.
it was.
And that guy's going to be slow to get up as well.
That nice shoestring tackle out there by Rogers, number 9. And the kid who was hammered by Demo
Pierce
is not getting up.
Going to get the ball out inside the 40-yard line, maybe the 37. And Dillon pulls from his position, gets out in front of Pierce and levels the Eastern player.
Didn't look like a super crushing hit that we've seen, but golly, that's now the first couple plays now defensively. You're seeing a couple T-Birds go down. Fortunately, 43 Hill it looks to be that he's okay. We haven't quite got a number on this guy.
Well, I wouldn't want to run into any of the players, but
No.
Demo would be at the top of my list of guys I wouldn't want to run into.
Oh, I have tried to, Coach Ollie asked me to keep track of that and report it, and I have seen some phenomenal. What usually happens is by the second half, the kid realizes he's going to get hit and goes down. and a block is just as effective if the kid just jumps himself out of the way. Well, hopefully this guy's okay. I mean, they're not looking at a leg or an ankle. It looks like they're talking to him.
We're going to go ahead and take a 30-second break here while they tend to the player. You're listening to Linton Minor Football, produced by Media 5 Sports.
Yo! Delicious frozen yogurt in Linton is the perfect destination for a cool, good-for-you treat. Come try some of our amazing flavors. Then top off the flavor of your choice with over 40 different toppings to choose from. New flavors added weekly. Stop by downtown Linton today and see why it's yo delicious.
And back once again at Eastern High School, and it is Isaac Hamilton who's down for Eastern, and they are taking their time on getting him off the field here. Dr. Wilson starting to make his way across the field for the Miner sideline. Looks like maybe they're asking for a cart or something to get him off the field.
Well, they're not looking at a leg or anything like it, so it must be well, I don't even want to. I mean, it could be a head type of situation, maybe a concussion, and they'll be very cautious.
Yeah, definitely. So
North Central is up over Wood Memorial 24-0, and Sullivan and West Vigo, always a heated battle, is 14-12 in favor of the Arrows.
This is what you didn't want to see.
That's exactly what you don't want to see happen.
Back-to-back plays. We got Eastern guys banged up, and you don't want to see it for either team.
And this kid is in the game at running back for Brent Price, who has that leg injury, and he's 34 is just I think a junior. He's a good-sized kid, and he's been kind of workhorsing a little bit tonight. 9 carries, 40 yards. That's not a bad number for the running, and now they're bringing out the stabilizer.
Bringing out the backboard to get him off the field here, so we hate to see that. We'll go ahead and take another 60-second break here while they tend to the injured player. You're listening to Linton Minor Football on QD 93.3 and WQTYradio.com, produced by Media 5 Sports. again at Eastern High School. Darren Clayton and Dan Phillips. 2 minutes into the third quarter here, and they're tending to Isaac Hamilton down on the field. I hear an ambulance coming in the background, so we hope nothing but the best for whatever this injury is to Isaac. And
well, he went down, and I saw him kind of roll over, and it didn't look like he was just motionless immediately. But once he turned on his back, he really hasn't done anything, and the helmet is still on him. And you just absolutely hate any kind of injury, but these kind of injuries make it even worse. They're very precautionary, obviously, Darren. Any kind of chance, hopefully you're hoping that what do they call it, exercising over caution, and that's what you hope is happening. And now, we still have most of the second half of the contest to go, and this is always a tough thing for anybody out there, but you got to get ready to play football after this happens as well.
And it's not any easier for the players on the minor sideline. They don't want to see anybody. Nobody wants to see anybody.
Dylan is. I'm sure he is, thinks about that I put the hit on him. It wasn't a bad hit. The kid was coming outside trying to break it up, and maybe he got caught. Maybe his head hit the ground, and could have caused it.
Well, the ambulance is making its way here, so we're going to be another few minutes before we get things going again. So we'll send it back for some more commercials, and Katie will let you know when we want to come back here. Probably be a few minutes, and just really nothing for us to talk about right now. So we'll go ahead and send it back to the station with some commercials here. You're listening to Linton Minor Football on QD 93.3, produced by Media 5 Sports. Injured player here, Isaac Hamilton. They're trying to get him stabilized on a backboard. They're bringing the stretcher out onto the field now here. So,
Yeah, I've really been trying to eyeball to see if I see they've got him on the table, and it looks like they're getting ready to lift him up. They've got him secured. His arms are crossed there, but
you see a couple of teammates out there, Dan. It's got to be scary for anybody. I mean, I know how I felt when Dad went down to Springs Valley, and now you're talking about kids whose friends.
Well, I'm sure Kaylee, the 35, is probably his brother, who's a sophomore. I can't say that for sure, but you would kind of guess that. So I got some nods up here.
See him down there in the middle of
that's got to be extremely tough for a younger brother to see that happening. A lot of folks out there, they got the stretcher out there. Well, I don't know how you come back and get out on the field and play.
And that's at any level. I mean, after something like that, and then you think you got to go back out there and hit the guy across from you yet again, or you're going to get hit yet again.
Well, you see 79, I believe, is Williams, and 43 is Hill, who was actually down to play before, but that's quickly forgotten about. And
a couple of seniors, that's showing an interest in what's going on there with their teammate for sure.
They've got the face mask off. That's just what they typically do. They're just all. All you can say is that they're just very careful about stuff like this to be sure.
Couple of scores. West Washington 32-0 over Duggar at the half.
Wow.
Owen Valley 27-0 over Brown County in the third quarter. Sullivan 30-20 over West Vigo. North Vermilion over Fountain Central 35-21. That's in the third quarter. So thanks Shane Rimmel for those scores.
That North Vermilion game is of big interest to us to see how it goes. They've got him on the stretcher now. And trying to, read the body language of the different people out there. Of course, there's no way we know that the kid from the pro player that from Cleveland or who it was that made that tackle on the goal line this is exactly what happened. They turned out he just had a stinger and he was out.
There we finally gets. It was so quiet here. It was eerily quiet as Hamilton being taken to the back of the ambulance now and gets a nice round of applause from the Eastern fans here. They got him stabilized and.
Yeah, and he's got his arms around his stomach, and they're not strapped in, so he's able to hold those up there.
Players running out to get stretched out just a little bit as we get ready to head back to action here momentarily, and just wish nothing but the best.
That's all you can do.
That makes the game secondary.
It does. It's been a disappointing night, I'm sure, for Eastern fans, and this doesn't make it any better. You just can hope that it turns out that it's was a nerve pinched or something along those lines, and now we've got to somehow go back to football where it's a 3rd and 5, I believe.
And they wind the clock here, so about 3rd and 4 or 5 for the Miners at the 38-yard line of Eastern. So Eastern, big play for their defense here. They need to get off the field. Handoff goes to Eberhardt to the left side, cuts it back up, now up the middle, breaks a tackle, and nice saving tackle there. That's number 42, Treston Russell. And without that tackle, Mitch may score again.
Yeah, he's out. He's on his way to the end zone and gets all the way down inside the 30 to about the
25-yard line. So a pickup of about 13 for Mitch there. Going to make it 1st and 10 for the Miners at the Eastern 25 as they look to add to their 42-7 lead here. Just a couple of minutes into the third quarter. Tyler going to look to throw now. Fires it towards the end zone. And what a catch by Clothier in the end zone. A diving grab. I thought he'd missed him out there, and Jacob makes the diving catch.
Tyler puts it where only he can get to it, but he's a good 4 yards behind that. And you mentioned earlier in the year that he had great hands, and that was just an all-out leap. And as the ambulance heads away, again, we wish nothing but the best to Isaac Hamilton. The Miners score on a 25-yard strike to Jacob Clothier. That was really Jacob Clothier's effort.
Wilson on for the extra point. Snap, pretty decent. Kick up and right through there again. Luke Wilson adds another extra point. So with 9:35 left in the third quarter on the Highcom Security Services scoreboard, the Miners go on top 49-7 here at Eastern.
Yeah, that's a stellar night so far by Tyler. Just throwing the ball. He's just thrown the ball 8 times, Darren. He's 5 of 8 of those for 148 yards. 4 of his 5 completions are touchdowns. So he's having a heck of a byline there. 90 yards rushing, 148 passing. Clothier now has caught 2 for 50 yards.
Tonight's game brought to you in part by Grunman's on 7th Street in Vincennes. Work shoes and boots from people who know shoes and boots. Grunman's, custom footwear since 1929, and where they still offer shoe and boot repair. Want to thank all of our sponsors. We got them a little extra.
Yeah.
A little extra tonight, but under unfortunate circumstances. But we do want to thank our sponsors for allowing us to bring you Linton Minor football each and every week, and then on into the basketball season with the Greene County coverage of both boys and girls basketball all through the county. Be seeing a lot of these guys from both these teams later on. Jeffrey Graham, as I mentioned in the pregame show, a big part of that Eastern basketball program, along with Hamilton. Price as well plays. I haven't looked down their whole roster to see what other names I recognize, but I do recognize those 3 names.
Well, small schools, you like to see as many guys playing multiple sports as you can. That just helps everybody out.
Wilson approaches, kicks it. He's going to come right back to that same spot again, but I think this one may get out of bounds.
It sure does.
It sure does, down around the 15-yard line. So Eastern will take over 1st and 10 at their own 35, trailing 49-7.
And speaking of the basketball, you got to mention D-Ball passing away. I want to send our thoughts out to that family as well.
Absolutely. Joe and Josh, of course, a big part of that minor basketball program, and their dad a big supporter of that basketball program.
Yeah.
And I didn't know him very well, but he'd always speak when he'd see me, and just an awful.
I talked to him, at Lucas Oil when the Linton was up there and Joe was playing, and I said, I always say it wrong, and he says, it's just like Diesel, D-ball.
Graham at quarterback, joined in the backfield by Caleb Hamilton. 3 wide receivers to the near side, 1 to the far. Out of the shotgun. Graham takes the snap, going to keep it himself up the middle, runs into several minors there, gets it out near the 40-yard line to about the 39.
He's got a good burst of when he gets up to that line. He was hit there by Jackson, I believe, as well as Chad Trent, T-Pig, running out of the contest. I imagine we'll see a lot of runs here just to get that clock to kind of roll.
2 wide receivers near this time, 1 to the far, 2 backs in the backfield. One of them going to slide out now maybe to the tight end position. That is Hill. Good to see him back out there from earlier. So Hill at tight end. Hamilton in the backfield with Graham. Off to his left. Hill in motion comes to the left. Now they're going to roll out and come to the left side. Graham with the keeper. Going to get out of bounds about the 43, maybe the 44-yard line. I think he was wanting a late hit call there, but that was right as he got to the line.
Yeah, and that was just a push. That fortunately wasn't a hit, or that might have erupted into all sorts of unfortunateness. That Tyler Muir is going to be the one that gives him the shove out of there. But we've seen the Miners, not go out of bounds, and it ended up being touchdown. So you got to make sure the guy goes out.
Play, sure. 3rd down and 1, big play for the Eastern offense here to try to stay on the field and get something going. Just to give their defense a break if nothing else.
Yeah, they don't want to give the ball back this quick.
Graham hands it off. They got that counter play again. It'll get the 1st down. It's Hill on the carry. Gets it out over midfield into minor territory to the 49-yard line. So a big 1st down for Eastern-Greene.
Yeah, that's that kind of river. Everything looks like it's going to the right, and it kind of counters back this way, and that gives the Eastern fans something to cheer for. Pierce Jackson trying to get that ball out of Gavin Hill's hand, but Hill's a pretty big boy, and they're over in the minor territory for the first time that I have them since.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Since they scored.
So 1st and 10 from the minor 49. 2 wide receivers right, 1 to the left, 2 backs in the backfield again.
Yeah, we're way up in the box. We have 9 or 10 even in the
Graham
box.
going to roll out to the right, looking to throw. Now comes back to the left, hits the referee. He was open.
He was open.
So the official takes it in the knee there. And going to be incomplete. 2nd down and 10 for Eastern.
That was intended for number 9, Jackson Rogers. What is a slew of people that have last names as first that messed me up.
And the referees actually respot that ball in a pretty poor position for Eastern. That ball was clearly across the 49 before the play. Now it's marked at the 50.
Yeah, I don't know how nobody seems to have caught that. That's a good half a yard.
2 wide receivers far, 1 to the near, single back in the backfield with Graham. Takes the snap, going to do a read option, going to keep it himself.
The ball's gone. Pierce has got it.
Pierce Jackson has it, picked it up at about the 45-yard line. It's a foot race to the end zone, and he's going to win it. Ball got stripped away from Graham on the run. They were doing that read option, and he stuck it into the belly, and he.
I don't even know how to. That's a fumble, obviously, and a recovery
by
number
Pierce.
8.
Yeah, he ran it back about 45 yards for the touchdown. And the Miners add yet another score here.
At the 8:01 mark, we had no defensive scores, and now we've got 2 in the last 2 weeks.
And that was one way. I don't think. Did we score on a fumble return last week? I know an interception return.
No, it wasn't.
Wilson on for the extra point, and it's going to get blocked. That's another one blocked, so that's an issue. 8:01 left in the third quarter. And on the Highcom Security Services scoreboard, the Miners are now on top 55-7 as the kick extra point is blocked. So on the Highcom Security Services scoreboard, Linton 55, Eastern 7. Tonight's game brought to you in part by Lions Health and Living Center, offering a high-skilled professional staff available 24 hours a day in a comfortable, compassionate environment. Contact Melinda Barnhill for a personal tour. That number is 812-659-1440. Lions Health and Living Center, a 5-star community. We are worth the drive.
Well, that's the 4th block this year. 2 point after touch, 2 PATs and 2 field goals, and that gets frustrating because you hate to even say something like this, but that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That could have been his 8th. The modern record is 9.
We did find that out?
Yeah, I looked that up yesterday. That was actually the kid that ended up, Clifton Bowers, ended up at North Davies.
Interesting, the kick gets blocked. I hate it that it did, but Coach Weber sent me an instant message this morning wanting to know how you scored the block kick. It does actually go against the kicker unless the official scorer thinks that it was a bad snap or a bad hold that led to it being blocked.
Well, that one looked like a snap.
How about bad line blocking?
Yeah,
that shouldn't go against the kicker.
Yeah, that looked to me like he did everything he always does. It didn't look like it was particularly low.
Wilson with the kickoff. And right over the head of the up guys, bounces back to about the 16-yard line, fielded there by the Thunderbirds, up the field and still on his feet down the left sideline, out to over the 35-yard line, trying to get a number on that return there.
There's number 9 again.
9, that's Rogers. So Eastern going to take over 1st and 10 at the 30, see where they mark, about the 37-yard line. So just under 8 minutes to go in the third quarter. Miners on top 55-7.
I heard some mention that might have been Deckard number 5 that actually
on the return
got that one.
Graham out of the shotgun, running back to his left, and they fake the handoff. Graham keeps it coming to the near side, breaks a tackle, and now he's brought down out there. Nice tackle, Chad Trent. Going to pick up about 5 yards there, gets it out to the 43-yard line, maybe 6, so we'll call it 2nd down and 4.
Good solid hit that time from Chad. Going to get out to the 40, what would you say, the 43 maybe?
Yep, 43, 2nd down, 4.
That's 77 yards on 16 carries by Jeffrey Graham. And
definitely their workhorse out of that quarterback position.
Yeah, with Price didn't play, and now with the Hamilton hopefully doing better at the hospital, I imagine he's on his way to Bloomington.
Graham out of the shotgun. Going to fake the handoff, and now has a bunch of Miners in his face. He's going to end up turning it into a yard or 2 gain.
Yeah, it's like a mirror type situation. You know, things
really
like
was,
that turn into busted plays. Chad Trent again kind of comes in and makes a hit with help from Walker, number 55. Really the starting lineup out there, other than Fonseca is in at the linebacker for Gentry, probably just for safe keepings.
Yeah, may as well, with the score what it is, may as well let Avery have the rest of the way here. He in the more than adequate filling at that position.
He's as little as he is. He always seems to be on the play, and you know it is good at this point in the season. You want that defense to be ready to go 4 quarters. I know we'll probably see the JV in the 4th quarter.
Graham out of the shotgun. 3rd down and fairly short. Rolls out, looks to throw, finds Hill, and it's going to be good enough for a 1st down out near midfield.
That's a nice catch by Hill because Kendall Williams was right there,
all over him
in his hands, and just gets to the 50-yard line.
So 1st and 10 Eastern. They'll keep the drive alive. Clock winding.
That was a safety blitz by Tyler Muir that time and picked the wrong gap. He went to the right side and Graham rolled to the right side.
Like you said, though, a nice catch there to get that first down.
Kind of wheeled that catch out there. Number 15 for them is out there in the contest, too. That's Derek French. We haven't talked about him much.
Graham right back up the middle again. Stopped after about a 5-yard gain by several Miners. They don't ever get him to the ground. They just get his momentum stopped.
Yeah, it's fairly impossible to see who gets to score, but he gets 5 yards out to the Miner 45-yard line as we are 5.5 minutes just in the third quarter.
Highcom Security Services scoreboard 55-7 in favor of the Miners. They've scored 48 straight. Second down and 5 rather from the 45. Linton territory. Eastern with the football. Graham takes the snap, pitches it out, coming to the near side. There are 4 Miners back there to greet the ball carrier.
No hope there.
Walker, Fonseca, Morris, and Trent.
Boy, they were
all over that. Another generous spot. They put it all the way back up at the 49-yard line, but make it third down and 11. I thought he's back closer to the 45. But
Chent was right there immediately, and as soon as he tried to turn back, there was Fonseca, and as you say, 2 or 3 other Miners right there. Third down and long.
Third and 11, 1 wide receiver near, 1 far, 1 back in the backfield. Graham takes the snap, going to look to throw, fires it to the left side, and it's short. And it'll be 4th down now. We'll see what Eastern decides to do with the score, what it is.
That was intended for French 15 and defended by Fonseca from the backer position.
And they are going to bring out the punting unit. Hill will drop back to punt.
Well, he started very strong, Graham. Hit his first 5 passes, and since then, that's 8 out of 15, just 62 yards. So the Miner defense has done a nice job. Not really have gotten to Graham in terms of sacks or pressure, but the defensive backs have done a good job.
Muir back deep to return for the Miners. Punts so far have been pretty short. Good snap this time. This kick is high. Tyler calls for the fair catch and bobbled it just a little bit, but it needs to work on doing that fair catch. Once again, that's the special teams important. That blocked extra point down there, that's could loom large in a big game, and making that fair catch there and actually catching the football. So the Miners take over 1st and 10 at about the 28-yard line.
We got 4:20 to go in the third quarter. They call that the 28-yard line?
Miners in their usual set, closer to the far side. Eberhardt, now we got a flag. That's probably going to be some kind of offsides against the Thunderbirds. Why did they?
I don't know.
It wasn't some kind of unimpeded to the running back or the quarterback, and they stopped the play. So they'll march off 5 yards. Be 1st and 5 for the Miners out around the 33. Once again, looks like they only walked off about 4.
That's one of the things definitely to talk about tonight, the lack of penalties for the Miners.
We got the crisscross fumble and picked up by Pierce, but he's immediately going to be stopped back about the 28-yard line. Going to be a loss of about 5. So what they gained on the offside, they give back on the crisscross. And
just as I'm giving praise that we haven't seen the fumbles, we haven't seen the turnovers, we get one. And that one kind of looked like in the backfield, it wasn't sure who was going to get it. Pierce took his time getting
that picked up. Instead of falling on it, he was still trying to, he was still thinking about picking up some yardage there.
That Russell, number 42, again, we've called his name quite a bit. Looks like he's an outside linebacker.
So the ball in the near hash mark, 2 wide receivers to the far side, wide side of the field over there. Tyler out of the shotgun, going to immediately throw it out to Pierce, kind of like a little quick bubble screen. Pierce has some running room right down the left sideline and a nice block. And why'd they flag that?
They don't want the score to go any higher.
So Pierce is going to score again, and he's going to be disappointed again.
That's 2 touchdowns called back on the penalties.
Pierce just kind of looks up in the sky like, really? That's 2 of them, and I don't know about that call. That looked pretty good to me.
I'm sure the officials are trying to find any reason they can to keep it from getting totally out of hand, but that flag came flying in well after the Pierce had gone all the way through it, right in front of the Miner sideline, and it's right about the
43-yard line of Eastern. So he's going to get some yards on the play, but not near what we thought he was going to get. It'll still be a 1st down. Block in the back is the call. Boy, if it was the block I watched where they knocked the guy down, that was far from a block in the back. But
Going to go back to about the 47.
So it was up at the 43 on the other side. So whatever yards he got to there, he'll get credit for.
Oh, I've got 29-yard gain there, so that's a pretty good size. But I'm sure Pierce would rather have the TD.
Right up the middle, Mason breaks a tackle. He's to the 35 to 30, and he's going to maybe outrun him to the end zone. He does. Garrett Mason, 53 yards.
And listen to the Miner crowd appreciative of that effort.
Nice
shades
run.
of Austin Hale right there, boy.
Boy, it was. Both hands on that football.
53 yards by the Miner running back. Now he's got 95 yards. I would imagine that's 3 minutes and 4 seconds to go. We're probably the last we'll see of that varsity offense.
3:04 to go, third quarter, and Mason takes it 53 yards.
Now Luke would be going for the tie if the last one was blocked.
Kick is up and through there. So Wilson adds the extra point. And on the Highcom Security Services scoreboard with 3:04 left in the third quarter, the Miners on top 62-7. We'll be back in 30 seconds. This is a Media 5 Sports Production.
Yo! Delicious frozen yogurt in Linton is the perfect destination for a cool, good-for-you treat. Come try some of our amazing flavors. Then top off the flavor of your choice with over 40 different toppings to choose from. New flavors added weekly. Stop by downtown Linton today and see why it's yo delicious.
We'll run through our list of sponsors again to thank them real quick. Southside Express in Linton, Midwest Satellite, Anderson Poindexter Funeral Homes, Grunman's, Lions Health and Living Center, Asphalt Doctor, the Greene County Daily World, Bob's Pizza, Media 5 Connect, and Highcom.
28-19, North Knox has taken a 9-point edge over North Davies with 10 minutes to go in that game. We know North Central, who is our opponent next week. We're 24-0 over Wood Memorial.
Wilson ready to kick off here once again, as the Miners have now scored 55 straight. So Wilson has it teed up. See where we go with the kick this time. And we're back coming to this near side again. Going to be fielded at about the 18-yard line. Out over the 30, and a tackle there made by 23, Billy Smith.
Billy Smith, Luke Miller, Fonseca, all there. I'm guessing that was number 5 again.
Right back to that same place. So Eastern will take over first and 10 at the 33-yard line.
Well, we talked a little bit about this last week, that you probably will see your starting D out there until the other team puts in their backups as well.
Yeah, and there's nothing. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
No, I don't. You don't want to give up a bunch of. It's just,
maybe the last 6 minutes or something.
Yeah.
Maybe you can make that swap over. Graham going to fake the handoff, keep it himself. And he's going to be swarmed over by the Miners.
All over the place, led by Dylan Morris, and good sportsmanship.
Dylan helps him up off the ground there. See where they spot this. Going to lose maybe a yard or two here.
Man, play ended up down around the 22, but they bring it all the way back to the 30.
32, so probably where his momentum stopped. Maybe a little bit up from where it was, but they drove him so far back. 2 wide receivers near. One to the far with the tight end on that side.
Well, I'll give credit due, Darren. After seeing a teammate in an ambulance that wasn't moving, they've come out, or at least they're coming out and they're playing. They're competitive. They just haven't rolled over.
Graham out of the shotgun, a back to his left, takes the snap, going to look to throw. Pressure from the Miners comes to the sideline. The receiver went on up the field. He threw it in behind him. A couple of Miners were the closest ones to that. It'll be third down and about 11 now.
And there was some pressure that time, really, for the first time I saw get to the quarterback, and Fonseca came in on an inside backer blitz. It'd be tough to find Fonseca if they're trying to pick him up when he gets back there.
Caleb Miller checks into the game for Eastern.
Mason and Figley, and it looks like Pig and Demo are our front line.
Graham out of the shotgun, down to 8 on the play clock. Receiver, tight end comes in motion into the backfield. There's the snap. Going to hand it off to
Oh,
the new
my
guy in the
goodness.
game, and Chad Trent says welcome. That's Caleb Miller on the carry, and he stopped immediately.
Boy, and right in the backfield. Miller is, was that number 8?
83.
83.
Yeah, 83. So ball all the way back to the 29-yard line, a loss of about 3 there, and that brings up 4th down. And the punting unit on once again for the Thunderbirds. Tyler back deep to receive. He stands at the Miner 40. Under 2 minutes left now in the third quarter. Hill back to punt, takes the snap. Little high. Demo tries to go for the block. Tyler runs up on it. It's way short.
Oh, Tyler's
he still wanted to catch that thing.
Yeah.
So the ball was on the 29, the punt out to the 35, so just a 6-yard punt that time. The Miners take over at the Eastern 35, 1st and 10.
Can't help but think that he was seeing that big 78 coming his way. 1:14 yet to go, Darren. We got a whole other quarter to go.
Levi Gerald's comes in at right tackle for the Miners as they take over here with 1:11, and now we got a running clock, Dan. So the clock running now. Miners on top here.
Yeah, we see several.
62-7, so a few
Gerald's
clean jerseys.
And Warnock. Was it Warnock at center, or is that still?
Can't tell if that's
no,
a 50 for us. Yeah.
There's
Eberhardt
with the pitch.
goes to the left side on the sweep. Still
Oh,
up
my
on the
gosh.
sideline, and he gets it all the way down inside the 10, I believe. They're going to mark it. Maybe got down to the 5, probably the 6-yard line. We'll see where they put it down.
He looked like he was going in and caught, I believe, out there 42.
So at the 6.
42's coming out holding his right arm and shoulder. So let's hope he's okay.
Treston Russell, we've called his name a
Quite
lot
a
on
bit.
defense tonight. So it looks like they're going to put it down at about the, can't see the yard marker.
They've got it
at
at
8. So handoff again goes to Eberhardt. Now we got a flag, and that'll call back another touchdown. So Eberhardt takes it into the end zone, and we're going to have holding on the Miners. So we'll back that up, see where they put it down, see if Mitch gets any yards at all on that carry.
It looked like that was in the, kind of in the backfield as to where that flag came down.
So they mark it back 10 yards, and they'll spot it at about the 18, so probably from the line of scrimmage, so a no play for Mitch there. They'll back it up and make it.
Well, I think Mitch is he has a 7-yard run. About everybody has scored that you'd see usually.
1st and goal. They give it to Pierce coming to the near side, cuts it up the
Big
middle, and he's going to
hole.
score easily.
And now fortunately they get up. No flag this time. That's hard to fathom. We've had 3 touchdowns called back.
Yeah, it really is. So the Miners score again with 19 seconds left here in the third quarter. A run by Pierce Jackson of 18 yards. Wilson will come on and try to add the extra point.
And I think this is the 9th one. If he gets this will tie the modern day record. I know it's not the old time one.
Snap, ball down, kick up, and good. So Wilson with another extra point. And with 19 seconds left in the third quarter on the HighCom Security Services scoreboard, it's Linton 69, Eastern 7. And
boy, I don't know what you're going to say. Other than we're going to see a lot of fresh jerseys.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
This as soon as we get this 19 seconds, and they did have the running clock a minute ago on the change of possession. It is stopped right now. So we'll see what they're doing as far as that goes. I believe that's Coach Lorig making his way down from the top
It's a
here.
scary sight seeing him come down a ladder backwards like that. I'm not always a little spooked that he's able to hold himself up and not fall right to the pavement. But I'm not talking about you, Joe. No.
Oh. So the Miners get prepared to kick off here again. Back deep, 35-5 for Eastern. 35, Caleb Hamilton. Number 5, Braden Deckard. Eastern still trying to get their 11 men out on the field.
Well, they've had enough guys hurt. Fortunately, we see that might have been the Russell kid that has got a
42. Yeah, hopefully he's back out there. He came off the field.
Yeah, there's a guy with a uniform off with a shoulder
Yeah,
ice
that's
on
probably him. So hopefully he's all right. So Wilson approaches for the kickoff. Kick, nice line drive kick, going to be right off the face mask of the Eastern player at the 15. That's Deckard, I believe. He picks it up and gets it out to the 25.
Nice tackle by Luke Miller, number 41. Probably see a whole lot of Luke Miller running the ball in the fourth quarter. That's a good open field tackle. Nice.
It really was.
That kick was solid.
I like him. He's gotten some distance on him tonight, and it's nice to know that Luke will be back too, just a junior.
Nice. We talk about those extra points. I have him coming into the night, other than the blocks, which, of course, has been pointed out that that's against him. I had him 37 of 38 coming into the night, and he's 9 for 9.
He had missed one that hadn't been blocked?
He had missed one. We deemed that he kicked it low, and it was blocked.
Okay. And we got a clock stoppage here. Eastern going to take a timeout. So clock wasn't even running there, so still 13.9 seconds left in the third quarter.
Just a matter of trying to get the kids out there. Yeah, you know what? When I keep these stats, I usually keep if it's blocked or if it's a bad snap, unless it obviously is a kick low. And I think that game you even said it looked like it just was low. But he's not really missed anything right, left, or short. He's just had the one. And tonight, again, just a block. And he's done such a great job, and really he should be 10 for 10 tonight, and it'd be nice to have him get an opportunity perhaps later to do that.
Might get that opportunity.
And nothing against Cliff Bowers, but he did go to North Davies after that, so that's kind of an odd thing that we got a Cougar that holds the record. And that was the year that JP's son Josh kicked so well and had a toe stinger that night and didn't kick. Something JP's been unhappy about for –
First and 10 Eastern at the 25-yard line. Graham out of the shotgun. Runner in motion going from left to right. Graham fakes it. Going to keep it himself.
Hole.
Coming to the near side. Has some running room. Going to pick it up out over the 30-yard line.
That's a Deckard, number 5.
Oh, okay, so we got a change.
Yeah, they got him in there. A tackle going to be made by Eberhardt. Maybe getting him some reps that's the end of number 3.
So at the end of 3 on the Highcom Security Services scoreboard, it's the Linton Miners 69, the Eastern-Greene Thunderbirds 7. We'll take a 60-second break. You're listening to Linton Miner Football, produced by me. High School. For those of you watching or listening to us, rather, the baseball game, Cardinals 4, Cubs nothing, headed into the 9th inning here as Eastern takes over to start the
I thought David
fourth
been a little
quarter.
Quiet sitting next to me over here. I heard a whole lot.
Second down and 3 from the 32-yard line. And Deckard takes the snap, going to keep it himself, comes to the near side and greeted there by Pierce Jackson.
T-Pig got out there as well.
And they're going to mark that at the 34, so a generous spot. Again, I feel like, but I'm not down there watching the play from as close as the officials are. So I've got 3rd down and 1 here from the 34. And once again, Eastern could really use a first down here.
Yeah, they don't want to give the ball back. I'm sure we'll see the JV offense come out for that. They want to get out there for sure.
So Deckard out of the shotgun. 2 backs join him. 2 wide receivers to the far side. 1 to the near. And
wow,
what a play.
Timed it perfectly.
Right into the backfield as the ball was being handed off.
That's what they've been trying to do. That was Hill, 43, carrying the ball, and Tyler has just That's another kind of weapon he brings from that defensive back position.
They spot the ball at the 30, so a loss of 4 on the play, and that'll bring out the punting unit. Tyler going to drop back. Hill to punt yet again.
North Knox wins that game in a kind of a tight game. 35-26 is the final score. Hats off to North Davies because they've been kind of getting rocked. And I do want to say, talking to the guys up here in the booth, that the word is that the Hamilton kid had blacked out, which, probably means he took a blow to the head. But that's better than hearing that he's got no feeling in any of his extremities.
Very true. Hopefully, once again, he's all right. Tyler going to come to the near side. He wants to field that, but it goes out of bounds. They'll probably mark that right around the 35-yard line.
Well, let's see your prediction.
Oh, they're going to put it right where, that's about, I guess, it didn't really go. They mark that usually where it crosses the boundary.
And I've never understood how that works. I mean, I've never understood it. I know there's a system, and I know he's going up, but I mean, the hands up, is he trying to look at the?
Look and see where he's going to go, I guess. I don't know that one.
How do you know where it actually went out?
No kidding. So the Miners are going to take over 1st and 10 at the Eastern 32, and I do indeed see several new jerseys out there.
Well, this is what we saw last week. The JV defense gets in, which is great, or the offense gets in at the 10:22 mark.
See Jarrett Hazelwood. I see Chance Howard.
Chance, he's pretty solid kid coming in at guard.
They jump. Ward, they jump again.
again.
This time they make it into the neutral zone, so that'll get the Miners 5 yards there.
Nice job by that JV defense. Out to the 38, and
1st and 5 now.
Certainly, penalty-wise, now we've gotten, as soon as I praised this, we had 3 that took back touchdowns, and we ended up scoring anyway. But
Levi Gerald's back out there at left tackle now. Earlier he was at right tackle when he was out there with the varsity, switched now to left tackle. Josh Warnock, the new center, I believe. Ward, there's Chase. Handed off up the middle.
That's Miller.
That's Miller, yeah. Gets it out over the 40 to the 41, I believe.
Miller wants to break 6. He's running the ball hard.
So the ball to the 41. Pick up a 4 on the play. Will make it 2nd down and 1.
Yeah,
or 3rd down. I'm sorry, 3rd down and 1.
61 is Hall, I believe, out to Hill. Trevor Hill,
yeah, had the onside kick recovery to start the ball game.
Noah Clark is at one of the tight end, or the other tight end, the far side.
Bill Smith. Howard in motion.
There he goes.
Give it to him, and he's going to be wrapped up in the backfield. Going to lose back to, now they're going to mark it at about the 37, 38-yard line. A loss of 2 or 3 on the play.
He didn't have a fighting chance that time.
Not that time.
83 was out there for Eastern, and Decker. That was Chase Howard, number 7.
I thought that was just 2nd down a minute ago, so now it is 3rd down and about 5 for the Miners.
You'd like to see that JV get a first down.
Get a first down here and keep it moving.
Well, at least Ward is not having to take a knee.
Ward out of the shotgun. And now we got movement.
Looked like they were off.
I thought they moved, and then Levi Gerald's moved after, and they're going to call it on the Miners. So that was close, I thought. So ball going to go back to about the original line of scrimmage. Going to make it 3rd down and about 10.
And Eastern bringing in some backup players as well. They don't have near the roster size it looks like that Linton does.
So Ward out of the shotgun, 1 back, a receiver to the far side, runner in motion, going to take the handoff, coming to the near side. Normally this would be Corbin.
Yeah.
But tonight it is Cunningham, I believe, on the carry.
He looks too big. It's Cunningham. That's you're right.
Yeah, Cunningham gets it out to the 35-yard line, so a pickup of about 3, and that'll be 4th down.
We're not going to punt the ball. 54
That'll be interesting if we don't punt. So
yeah, Levi Southern's going to come out and make the tackle, a gain of 3 for Cunningham, 4th and 7, so it's not really a short.
About 8 minutes left on the clock. I can't imagine the Miners want to give Eastern the ball here.
Wouldn't think so.
You look across the field, and
they're just going to wait for the clock to run out.
You could probably, I don't know, it'd be interesting to see if they got the varsity players. Are they still?
Yeah, I'm going to see what
you're saying. Are they still padded up, or I know a lot of times they.
Laver Gentry's not padded up for sure. Is
that him standing at the 50?
He's standing next to one of the coaches. Yes.
And now here does come the punting unit out for the Miners. That is the varsity punting unit.
I see everybody still suited up on that side. probably for that very reason.
So Kendall Williams on to do the punting for the Miners as the JV ends up gaining about 3 yards on the series after penalties and plays. 7:44 remaining here in the ball game. Miners going to improve to 7-1.
Technically 7-1.
Right. Eastern-Greene going to fall to 6-2.
They've had back-to-back bruising games. The guys getting hurt, and they've got to somehow regroup, Darren, as they head into sectional 47.
15-yard snap here. It takes a hop. Kendall able to get it, gets the punt away. A low-line drive, going to take a nice Miner bounce down to the 25-yard line and stop there. So a nice punt by Kendall, about 40 yards. Is that right?
That snap was not good.
That's
40 yards on the nose. Your math is good.
15 yards back from the center, and I don't even think the pros are going that far back anymore. I think they used to at one time. That's a long way to have to snap that ball. So 1st and 10 Eastern at the 25, and we take a look out there, and maybe the Miners try to mix in some of the some of the younger kids here, but so far I don't see that.
Yeah, you would. I don't really see anybody, even at defensive tackle. There's everybody's the same.
Deckard at quarterback. I see Graham there at the 42-yard line on a knee watching.
That's probably smart. You do not want to take a risk on getting him hurt.
Not at all. And now we're going to get another timeout from Eastern. That's about the third one they've had to take, but on the first play of the series.
Yeah.
So they'll come to the sideline.
I believe they didn't have enough on the field. Caleb Hamilton, 35. It's got to be a little heavy for him to still be out there.
Right. And, when you have the injuries like that, we already mentioned.
I think that's
42, I believe. Yeah, it's Treston Russell. When you got guys out that are normally out there, sometimes the subs aren't.
And they're already without Brent Price, who was their second leading rusher and experienced kid. I think he's just a junior.
Yeah.
And he was started as a freshman, too, so that's some key players for them. And
Price is a senior.
Price is a senior.
Yes.
Just a few singers is all that they have.
Yeah, you can definitely tell there's some potential down the road for this football team, no doubt about it.
They've got Tecumseh next week, which Tecumseh is 3-4. I wouldn't think that's a pushover game by any means. Springs Valley beat Tecumseh last week.
So Deckard out of the shotgun, 2 wide receivers to the far side, 1 to the near, 2 backs in the backfield. Takes the snap, going to hand it off, and I think it's that read option again, and boy, the Miners just all over it, nowhere to go. And Pierce Jackson says it's Miner football.
Well, that was number 5 was
Caleb Miller, I believe, is who they were trying to hand that to.
Yeah, and he was just met almost exactly the same time by Figley. Was just glad to see Zach Figley out there, back out there in action.
So a loss of about a yard there for Eastern, going to make it 2nd down and 11. They take it back to the 24-yard line from the 25. Deckard again out of the shotgun. Takes the snap. Going to toss it this time, headed to the left side. And tripped up is Caleb Miller again on the carry.
Not a whole lot on that side. I want to say Kendall Williams. Now we're seeing Warnock come in at defensive tackle. It might have been Williams out there. It might have been Trent.
Looks like maybe back to the original line of scrimmage, or maybe just either no gain or however you want to score that, either 0 or 1. It's not much. 3rd down.
Well, the winds are picking up.
Yeah, it's supposed to cool off temperature-wise. I think we missed that rain. I was glad it didn't rain tonight. I wanted this to be a clean field. And Deckard again out of the shotgun. Two receivers to the near side, 1 to the far, 2 backs again in the backfield. Takes the snap, rolls out to the right, looking to throw, fires it down here. He made a catch right through the hands of the Miner defender.
Well, Kendall was thinking 6 right there.
Looked like a potential pick 6. Instead, it ends up being a completed pass to Caleb Hamilton. He gets it out to about the 33 or 30, about the 33, going to be a couple of yards short of the first down.
Concentration by Hamilton, but boy, that would have been a Kendall picks that off. He has nothing but 6 on it, and it went right through his hands.
And the punting unit back out once again. Sullivan beat West Vigo tonight 50-27.
Wow.
North Vermilion 56, Fountain Central 33. Good snap, punts away.
Williams almost gets that
and
one.
Tyler going to let it bounce and going to roll down inside the 30, all the way down to the 25, where the Miners will take over.
Well, the fact that Fountain Central put that many points on North Vermilion is a little bit of a surprise, really.
So 1st and 10 for the Miners at the 25. The JV will come back out. 5:22 remaining in the ball game on the Highcom Security Services scoreboard. 69-7. Try to get some more names out there of some of the guys that are on the field.
Well, that really has to put North Vermilion as the heavy favorite in 45 after that big win. Of course, South Putnam and Sheridan are still up there, but
Ward out of the shotgun. 2 wide receivers to the far side. 1 back with him, 1 on the wing. Takes the snap, going to keep it himself. Looks to cut it up the middle. And might have got a yard or 2. They'll take him out to the 28-yard line, so they'll give him 3. 2nd down and 7.
Wyatt Scott, number 56, one of the guys that got in there for Eastern.
Now I'm sure the Miners will use the play clock, let the game clock run down as we knock it down under 5 minutes, getting close to 4.5. Players look over the sideline, down to 10 on the play clock now. Now down to 5-4. Hopefully they're aware of that. Down to 3-2. Now they get the snap away. They drop it on the ground, and Eastern recovers. So a fumble recovered by 56. You just mentioned him, Wyatt Scott, on the recovery of the fumble.
And do you score that as Wyatt, as the Ward carrying that ball?
If it's it's either did he hand it off or did he keep it?
No, it just looked like it
fell out
right off his hands at about the 27 of Linton.
So, Ward gets credit for that, and the Miners' defense right back out onto the field again as Eastern takes over at the 27-yard line. So, good field position for Eastern here.
4:11 to go in the contest. The defense wants to keep them out of the end zone.
Deckard at quarterback, 2 wide receivers to the far side, 1 to the near, back to the left, and a back behind. Deckard takes the snap, going to hand it off. Ooh, and that's Miller again on the carry.
Miller's a pretty good-sized kid, number 83 out there. Have to look that up on my
6'1", 170.
Well, he looks a heck of a lot bigger than 6'1", 170. Maybe he could be 170.
Gets it down to the 25-yard line, I believe. Give him a couple.
He ran right into Pierce Jackson.
The chains never moved. That ball on the 25 originally.
I had it at 21, so I know I was way off.
Looks like it was at the 25 originally, so 2nd and 10. Deckard takes the snap, going to look to throw. Pressure from the Miners, and they're going to get the sack.
Going to get him anyway, and that's number 5, I believe. Fegley also got back there as Fonseca, but it was definitely number 5, and Deckard gets up with a little bit of a limp.
That's going to take the ball back to the 30-yard line, so a loss of about 5 there. Going to make it 3rd down and 15. Eastern definitely in 4-down territory here as the clock winds down to 2:43 remaining.
Well, I think they'd love to close out this game with trying to get 6 out there, but Miner defense is just as equally so.
Yeah, they don't want to give up any more. 2 backs, 1 on each side of Deckard this time. Receivers to both sides. There's the snap, hands it off, and that's, I believe, Caleb Hamilton. Ball's loose, going to be, the Miners tried to pick it up and run with it. Now they fall on it.
Because can you advance a fumble in high school? Because that one would have been a touchdown if somebody.
I think it was picked up there by, was that Kendall Williams that got that? Maybe
so.
Maybe Mitch, maybe an Eberhardt that picked that up. Yeah, Eberhardt on the recovery. So the Miners take back over on the turnover at the 30-yard line.
2:16 left in the contest. Time just going so slowly right now.
So Ward back out of the Shotgun, takes the snap, heads up the middle, got a flag on the play from the
same
from the back judge again. I don't know. It's about got to be some kind of a motion thing. Why is he calling that for the second time tonight? What has he seen from way back there that can't be seen by the people up on the line?
Unless he's specifically looking for something. Oh, they're going against
illegal substitution. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I don't know. I'm not sure
how
what that. So the ball goes out to the 35-yard line.
Not sure what that penalty is. I know it's one of them newer ones. I thought it was
Miners bringing a bunch of new linemen here.
Goodness, we're never going to keep up with that. 57, Gavin Lay. 65, who is
Tyler Moore. No, that's not right.
Not Tyler Moore.
Yeah. Isn't that right? Did he get hurt this week?
He hurt his
he got hurt this week, yes.
I just got an updated roster. I needed to bring that in, but I didn't
do it. Who's that on
the
end there?
56.
Did we take a knee that time? 60-something. Robert Hecox, maybe?
Yeah.
68, a freshman, 5'8", 220.
And 56 is out there, too. Cole Padgett, another freshman. I do think we took a knee at
1:22. The clock is stopped. Now they're going to wind it. 7 on the play clock. Now they're going to reset the play clock.
Oh, I think he took a knee.
Now they put the ball in play. I think he did, too, so it's –
you put guys in just to take a knee. just kind of run a play. Boy, there's some little guys out there, Darren. And of course, that with Big 65, I wish we had his name, but I don't have his name.
Yeah, I know. I'm like you. I always hate it when I don't have a name. Well, Drayton takes another knee. He's had several of those this year where he's taken a knee, and the clock continues to wind down with 43 seconds left. So probably just one more knee here. The referee waits to put the ball in play, and now he does so. So the Miners will let that clock run down, and it gets under 25. And that'll do it for tonight's contest between the Miners and the Thunderbirds. So the final score on the Highcom Security Services scoreboard is Linton 69, Eastern 7. We'll go ahead and take a 2-minute break and come back with the postgame show. You're listening to Linton Miner Football on QD 93.3 and WQTYradio.com, produced by Media 5 Sports.
Yo! Delicious frozen yogurt in Linton is the perfect destination for a cool, good-for-you treat. Come try some of our amazing flavors. Then top off the flavor of your choice with over 40 different toppings to choose from. New flavors added weekly. Stop by downtown Linton today and see why it's yo delicious.
School, Darren Clayton alongside Dan Phillips. The final score on the Highcom Security Services scoreboard, 69-7 in favor of the Miners. If you tuned in early, looked like this game was going to live up to the hype. Both teams come in 6-1 records. The Miners go 53 yards on their first play from scrimmage. Tyler Muir with the touchdown. The extra point by Wilson made it 7-0. And Eastern with a nice drive, a 64-yard drive if I remember correctly, capped off by a Deckard 8-yard pass from Graham. Drummond added the extra point, 7-7, and then from that point on, it was all Miners.
Well, and then actually we
had one more drive. Actually,
we gave the ball, punted away to them at the 10, and they moved it up to the 40. And you're thinking, hey, then from that point,
from that point, it actually at one time looked like Eastern going to march it down the field here and take a 14-7 lead. The Miners come up with the turnover, and from there on out, they score on an 8-yard run from Mason, a 55-yard Muir to Jackson pass, an Eberhardt 7-yard run, Clothier from Muir for 24 yards, and then Jackson again from Muir for 30 to round out the first half scoring, 42-7 at the half in favor of the Miners. And then the Miners tack on 4 more touchdowns in the third quarter, 9:35 left in the third quarter. Clothier with a nice diving catch in the end zone, 25 yards from Muir. Wilson adds that extra point, 49-7. Jackson on a 45-yard fumble return. The PAT got blocked on that one. It was 55-7 in favor of the Miners. That was with 8:01 left in the third quarter. With 3:04 left in the third, Mason goes 53 yards, the longest run we've seen him make this year, I believe.
And he had to pull away. I mean, he actually kept trucking.
Put both hands on that football, and he gained ground. Nobody was able to catch him from behind. Wilson adds the extra point, 62-7, and then with 19 seconds left in the third quarter, the last play you'd see the Miner varsity offense out there. Jackson goes 18 yards again. Wilson adds the extra point, 69-7 in favor of the Miners. And Dan, the numbers impressive again on the offensive side. And after the first couple of series, pretty impressive on the defensive side.
Yeah, the offense looked smooth all night long. We got to see some nice passing. I mean, you think he passed more than that, but he was 6 of 9 for 177 yards. 4 of those 6 were touchdowns, no interceptions. 4 passes to Pierce Jackson for 127 yards. 2 of those touchdowns, both catches by Jacob Clothier for 50 yards. Another 2 touchdowns. So it was good to see the passing game coming around. Off running the ball, this is kind of what we like to see. Garrett Mason with 7 carries, 95 yards, 2 touchdowns. 5 carries, 90 yards for Tyler Muir for a touchdown. Pierce Jackson, 5 carries, 29 yards and a touchdown. And Mitch Eberhardt, 6 for 75 and a touchdown as well. Several other guys come in. Overall, 290 running the ball. It's over 9.3 per carry. A total of 467 on the offensive side of things. And Mitch had a couple of big long runs that actually came back because of penalties.
Pierce had a couple called back as well.
I keep thinking he should have more yards than that, but he had 2 pass plays come back. Jeffrey Graham, he started off the game strong. I think he hit his first 5, but he ends up 8 of 16 for just 62 yards, an interception, and that 1 touchdown that he threw early, that first drive. Deckard came in towards the end and completed the pass for 9 yards. So 71 yards on their passing attack. The running attack, 19 carries for Jeffrey Graham, 82 yards. That's a 4.3 average, and that's really the best that anybody's done against the Miners this year. But a lot of that damage was done early in that first drive. Other than that, definitely we're thinking about Isaac Hamilton, 34, the junior, 9 carries, 40 yards, and had to be taken off on a stretcher. Don't even have any news. We just hope and pray for good news. Up here they were talking like he had blacked out, and so they were really being cautious about it. Overall, they got 121 yards rushing, 2.9 for the team per carry. So that's more like the Miners, 192 yards against a pretty high-powered offensive team. And so solid all-around numbers. And, defensive numbers are always kind of shaky as far as what I can see and what I can't see. But Zach Figley with 11 tackles, Chad Trent with 11 tackles, Pierce Jackson with 10. All around an excellent job out there. So it's going to be fairly hard to figure out another player of the game. But hopefully Coach is on his way up here. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure
He
either.
gets caught every time.
Yeah, absolutely. Lost my train of thought. you can definitely see where this Eastern team wins football games. I mean,
Sure.
there's some talent there. I mean, Graham, 4 yards a carry, like you said. I mean, guys just don't do 4 yards a carry against us very
Hasn't
often.
been successful.
Hamilton, before his injury, 4 yards a carry also.
4.4.
And like you said, a lot of that was early on, but you can definitely see this Eastern team has size. They've got some skill players. You can definitely see why their record 6-1. It's definitely not 6-2 now, but it's definitely not a fluke that they've won 6 ball
And they're
games.
young. They're young as well. I mean, I have Graham with a carry of 10 and then 9. I mean, you can see there's a lot more yardage in these earlier ones. Now you're starting to see a lot more negatives. He still showed the ability to break some plays and make some guys. It's great for us to run into this because this is what we're going to run into. You think about that North Vermilion game. Their quarterback, he had more yards than Jacob Earl had as he kept the ball several times. But Eastern certainly, I hope they don't get discouraged. I mean, it's they're going into sectional 47, and they've got Tecumseh next week that they can rebound against, and hopefully everybody's going to be healthy. Looking down that roster of starters that you were talking about, 2 sophomores on that offensive line, Britton and Wyatt Scott. And then really out of that backfield, Gavin Hill's a tight end, and Brent Price. Those are the only 2 seniors. So they got a lot of people coming back defensively. Again, John had a sophomore starting, 3 sophomores starting on the defensive side of things, and just 3 seniors. So if they can keep themselves focused and keep everybody, on Coach Joe's plan, he's an intense guy. He was really giving them the speech when I was down there waiting to give him the interview, and I thought, boy, and they came out fired up.
Yes, they did.
Just Linton has a lot of weapons, Darren. I mean, it's just if you play against this, bam, they hit you with that, and it's just very diversified.
Yeah, I had somebody ask me at the golf course. It was Todd Gamble. I mean, Todd, of course, a longtime coach at
Sure,
Union,
yeah.
and he stopped me and said, "How good is this team?" And I said, "Well, every year everybody wants to say, well, this is the best, and this is the best." And I said,
It's very hard to determine.
I don't know if I want to go there, but I mean, this is a good football
The
team.
defensive side of the ball is been pretty stout, which I like to see. Offensively, it's a different kind of team. I think Tyler being a quarterback gives us something that I don't know that I've seen in the time I've been here. We've had some great running quarterbacks, but he can throw the ball, and we've got some good receivers out there too. So it's hard to top a couple of the teams in my mind. That offensively, we were just, but this team seems to be able to do that as well. But it's almost a curse. You don't want to say it.
I know, yeah.
But it's a long way to go yet. We've got the draw coming up on Sunday, and I would think we were really super heavily favored to win that sectional. So
I think Coach finally got break away
pulled
from
away
from the media.
I don't know
there,
what
so
you're going to ask him. I mean,
I think you're going to talk to him.
not a whole lot of things.
Usually leave that to you.
Not a whole lot of things you can really talk about, other than there are some things to talk about. Surely, there's always things. He'll find some things that he's going to be very happy in how they responded.
Oh, absolutely. One drive, I'm sure he was disappointed in that first drive that they ran it down our throats there at the beginning of the game. But after that, pretty solid. So here comes Coach Oliver right now.
Is he out of breath? Is he tired of running the sprints?
I'm getting a little used to this.
Yeah.
A little farther today.
Well, Coach, first of all, congratulations on a big win, and I think you got to be really happy the way the kids responded after that first Eastern drive, and they were fired up and looked like things were going their way. But you got to like the way they came back that second quarter.
Oh yeah, Eastern came out with a lot of intensity there, and they was able to march the ball down, and they made plays. They caught us out of position, but one of the biggest things in that drive there was a lot of missed tackles.
Yeah.
So that kind of hurt us a little bit, but we was able to settle down as well, and we got an interception and got the momentum back and was able to drive down and score.
Well, I
there.
think you probably made some coaching, coach them up on the sideline. I mean, we always talk about the coaching staff. One of the pluses that we have is that you guys are able to read what's happening, and we got very coachable kids that take what you're telling them. This wasn't even a halftime adjustment. I mean, most of their bulk came in that first drive and part of that second drive they had. After that, I don't know if you made changes or the kids just started making the hits, but all of a sudden there were not the big gaping holes in the defensive backfield. Once again, a great job.
Well, one of the biggest things, we made a couple little minor adjustments, moving the free safety around and moving our outside linebackers a little bit here and there. But that was about it. But the biggest thing is our kids picked up their pace.
Right.
They came out, played with a lot more intensity after that interception and was able to. Then we smelled the blood, and then we just went for it. We just kept going and going.
Probably that first drive was a little bit of a wake-up call. They did kind of make some plays, and Graham, you got to give Graham some credit. He's able to move around. He got, I think he had unofficially 82 yards, so 4.3 per carry. That's the most we've had against us really as far as that goes. But the bulk of that came in that first drive.
Well, I mean, you look there, Graham is a great quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean, he's similar to Tyler. I mean, he rolls out. He's going to be able to cut all the way back. We lost contain a couple of times, and that really helped him out. One time we had that decent run sprinting back to the left. I mean, our defensive end got sucked too far in, and he was able to go right around. I mean,
and we really haven't had that kind of a quarterback that we faced the last couple 3 weeks. So that was a good thing for us to see and kind of adjust to going down the road.
Oh yeah, we haven't seen that kind of quarterback since Cody Wright there from North Vermillion. I mean, so it was a good practice for us.
They hammered Fountain Central pretty good tonight.
Did they?
So,
well, good.
So other than that, offensively, I don't know what you can say. Moved the ball at will. The passing game was there. Garrett Mason trucking up the middle. Yeah. Offense just looks like it's clicking on all cylinders. I think.
Well, I mean, you look these last few weeks, people say we haven't looked that well. I mean, we're going to make mistakes. Yeah. We're not peaking just yet, and we came out tonight and we were able to minimize. We had some penalties.
Those were 42-7 score penalties is what those were.
And so be it. So we just come out, and our kids played exceptionally well offensively and defensively. Our special teams were going tonight. We had one kid take a bad step and allowed a guy to get in and block a kick.
And you know that he hit 9 of them tonight, so he ties the modern-day record if that 10th would have been the record. Maybe we get another chance to do that. But let's talk about Luke. He's dead money on those PATs and field goals if he doesn't get it blocked.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you look like him. I mean, Luke Wilson has been a huge part of this team. He's made so many – he's worked so hard to get where he's at right now, making field goals and making those extra points. I mean, he even went up the other day to meet with his kicking coach up by Indy just to be able to do that. I mean, he's putting a lot of time, and you could tell a huge difference from where he was at last year to where he's at now.
Right.
I mean, he's put the time and effort, and he's earned everything he's done out there.
So we got North Central on the agenda next week. What areas do you work on, or you just keep trying to keep on keeping on?
We keep pushing ourselves. That's the biggest thing right now. We got to keep pushing ourselves in practice and just get ourselves mentally ready. We know Sunday with the draw, and the kids will be able to see that. But we know that playoffs is knocking on the door now. It's right there. It's a week away. And we just got to keep getting ourselves mentally and physically ready to be ready to play in that tournament.
Injury-wise, I know Avery played the whole game until towards the end, and that probably took him out just to keep him.
Yeah, we took him out at half. He's got a sore muscle, so we already had the game. So
I'm sure he had enjoyed playing some linebacker as well.
Yeah, so but he was okay with it, so we just had to take him out. And then Caden Walker's got a bum shoulder right now, so, I mean, Doc Wilson looked at it, we took him out, put ice on it, so we'll see what that's like in the next couple of days.
How do you feel with the offensive line as we wind down this season compared to, I mean, I know we're better, but
well, they're really gelling, coming together. Whenever all those guys are out there, they're really starting to move as a unit. There's still little tweaks here and there that they miss here and there depending on what the defense does, but we're seeing a lot of different fronts. Tonight was a little bit different front at times, and the kids was able to adapt to it and on the fly. Especially with our trap, we had to adjust that a little bit, but the kids are coming along with it.
Well, it's like I say, it's great coaching.
Well, you look, I got three of the best offensive line coaches in the area. You got Coach Laurie, Coach Rabon, Coach Bredaway.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't ask for a better line coaches to get these guys ready for us.
I think you see how it affects on the field. It's a kid comes off and gets taught, and a lot of these guys are going two ways, so they're get to hear about it on the punt or in between plays.
Yeah. Well, you look, I mean, really, there's only one offensive lineman that goes both ways, and that's Morris, Demo.
Yeah.
He's really the only one. Now, Caden Walker rotate in there a little bit. Garrett Mason will rotate a little bit at defensive end. But for main thing, our offensive line, we only got really Demo goes both ways.
Love having depth, and you got some good guys like Chance Howard that can come in, and he's going to be a beast, I think.
Yeah, I mean, he's really coming along there at defensive tackle. I mean, it's usually on a passing down or something like that where we wouldn't get more of a rush. So we'll rotate T out and we'll put him in there. And so Howard was able to get a little more pressure and a little more speed going up the middle there.
Tyler, maybe tonight with a little bit of more inspiration coming into this contest, knowing that Graham gets a lot of press as a quarterback. Looked like he was intent tonight on making a point. Not that he has to. He's won the Bloomington Player of the Week three or four times. So.
Well, you look there. I mean, not just Tyler, but a lot of the kids. I mean, they were fired up. They've been looking forward to this game for weeks now. and they wanted to come out and knew the Eastern's had success, and with them wanting to move us from week 1 to week 8, just a lot of different reasons. But our kids were fired up. We haven't seen this way they were fired up this way for several weeks, and you could really show the way we played tonight.
Well, Coach, that's what we'll leave it on. Excellent job again, an excellent win, and they'll wind it down the season, keeping everybody healthy, and we'll look at that draw. And let's hope we don't go all the way to Tell City.
We've been on plenty of bus rides. What's one more?
That's true. Congratulations, Coach.
I appreciate it. Thanks, guys. See you next week.
All right.
Coach Brian Aller of the victorious Linton Miners tonight. His team wins 69-7 over Eastern-Greene, and Dan, about time to
the unenviable task.
Here. Yeah, it's
well, I've
figure out. I mean,
yeah, I've given it to the kicker before.
We tried to bounce it around.
I tried
and give
to.
it to some different players. I mean.